Okay. I haven't done this in a long time. Basically, what a week, man. It's like we've watched the stock market basically collapse. And I'm looking at these cryptocurrency prices. I'm waiting to get to the moon, and apparently I haven't gotten to the moon yet. We're supposed to be on the moon by now. It's like they sent a rover up. They got that rover to Mars, but they haven't gotten me to the moon yet. What's going on? So I'm gonna share the link. Anybody who wants to jump in here can jump in here. Was it Cineas one? Good evening. How are you? I'm gonna drop the link in here so this way, if you want to get up in here, you can get in here. So I don't know how many people are gonna get in here at once because a lot of people act like they don't want to use their mics. But that is the StreamYard link right there. Oh, we got 20 people. Did you guys who bought Dogecoin, did you guys get to the moon yet? Are y'all on the moon? Who's on the moon today? Who's on the moon? Douchecoin. Yeah, that's right. Hey, fuck it. If they can misspell it, I can too. Douchecoin. That's what I'm going to call that shit. All these get rich quick wannabes. Everybody just trying to get rich quick. Nobody wants to work. Everybody trying to get rich quick. And they're going to watch their money evaporate. So sad. It's like I don't know when Congress is going to step in and put an end to this nonsense. They're going to probably say, "Oh yeah, well, cryptocurrency is a waste of fucking electricity, and on top of that, it's a waste of video cards. Those video cards could have been used by incels in their house to play video games. So we're going to make this shit illegal." But I don't know when they're going to step in, but sooner or later they got to. No, I'm just waiting to see somebody step in here and say, "Yeah, I'm rich and I got Douchecoin, and I'm going to buy a Lamborghini with my Douchecoin." That's all I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to see somebody step in here and say they got rich off of it. Hey, Joel, how are you?
What's up? How are you?
So what's going on? You made any investments lately?
I've been sticking with XRP. That's really it.
Oh, Ripple, really? So how's that go now? How's that going?
I mean, I only have like 300 of it, and I just stored
300.
it away. Yeah, I'm not a big investor.
Okay, so let's see. Ripple's price right now is 0.43. I think the highest I had seen it. Let's see, within a year, I think the highest I'm looking at it right now. The highest I had seen that shit was 76 cents,
hmm
and it rapidly fell down because they paused trading on it. How are you even buying Ripple right now?
Well, I brought it like I would say like 5 months ago, so it was like a
5 months
couple cents.
ago,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but I'm not too big with it. Like with cryptocurrency, I'm not too big with it at all.
No, well, good for you. I wouldn't be big with it at all either, because the thing about it is, it's like for the time being, it's just not a. It's my thing is, it's like I remember back. What was it like 2 years ago?
hmm
Or back in 2018. I remember when there was a huge rush on cryptocurrency and everybody was trying to get in.
hmm
2017, everybody was getting in. It
hmm
was like I put money into a couple of those things, and then you had to stay up at night and watch it go up and down. It was like you losing sleep. And then I realized I was like, wait a minute, this is bullshit. And then once January rolled around and all of those predictions, they were like, oh yeah, Bitcoin's going to 100,000 and this, that, and other. I was like,
Yeah,
you know what? I was like, yeah, this shit's not happening.
I got a
You know,
question if I
so
may. I'm
yeah,
sorry
sure,
for
go ahead,
interrupting.
go ahead, go ahead.
So like I don't know like if sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but Dogecoin or whatever.
Yes,
Do you like what is your expectation about that coin? Like, should we get
I have
into
no
it?
expectation. No, but let me ask you the question. Let me ask you because see, this is this is the problem that I like. Where this is where I get into arguments and fights on websites. Here's my thing. I want you to ask yourself: do
hmm
you see any government or any string of institutions in the future trading Dogecoin?
No.
Of course not. Why? But here's a question: why?
I mean, because from what I heard from the internet, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that there's like a limited like Dogecoin, and like it was just like a made up like funny cryptocurrency, and like
Yeah.
Elon Musk had like a small percentage in it, so he decided to say something about it, and then everybody started like, oh, it's gonna go to the moon, or like it's gonna this and that go to like $1 or two. So I was confused. I was like, a lot of people around my area, they were like, if you don't invest into it, you're stupid. I'm like, oh,
Exactly. That's called hype. You know what's ironic? Ironically, investing in these cryptocurrencies is no different than investing into Dave and Buster's tokens. You ever been to a Dave and Buster's? The different I'll say it like this: the difference between investing in cryptocurrency and investing in David Buster's tokens is that at the end of the day, you can use the tokens to play video games. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, you can actually, those tokens are tangible. They're there in your hand. They're there in your pocket. At the end of the day, you can go to any Dave and Buster's and you can play some video games. What the fuck? What can you do with a Dogecoin? Please, somebody tell me. What can you do with a Dogecoin? Somebody please tell me. Maybe I'm wrong. What can you do with a Dogecoin?
I got cursed out by a female because she said like, "Oh, you're an idiot. You're not gonna get nowhere in life if you don't invest in Dogecoin." I was like, "Oh,
A woman told you that bullshit?
yeah."
Wow. Now here's my question: how many Dogecoins did she have?
I think she invested like $2,000 because she does
Oh my
OnlyFans. So she
god.
was like,
But see, this is my problem. Oh, she does OnlyFans. Okay, that makes sense. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. No, first of all, when I say that makes sense, I'm basically saying she's a whore because she's on OnlyFans. So but here's the thing. This is the problem. This is the problem. When people, and we're all doing it, right? When we invest in something and we put our money in something, it doesn't matter if you're buying an Apple iPhone. It doesn't matter if you're buying a Samsung phone. It doesn't matter if you're buying, I don't know, a PlayStation 5, an Xbox. When you invest your money one way, right? Everybody wants to try to drag everybody else's money that way, and I'm guilty of it too. Because me personally, I keep telling people, okay, iPhone's the best. If you buy anything else, you got a shitty phone, right? Or I keep telling people, it's like, oh yeah, certain video cards and this, that, and other, certain made things are better than others, right? When you invest in something, you're trying to get everybody else to invest your way because ultimately it means longer longevity for the company that you've invested into. So if everybody invests in Apple, then that means Apple will have more money and they'll make better products down the road, right? So we're all guilty of it. But this Dogecoin shit, and even like, see, the sad thing about it is I don't think these people realize no government, no country is ever going to trade with this shit. In fact, even every time you look at Bitcoin, the only way Bitcoin has a value is compared to the US dollar. I mean, even the screen that I'm sharing right now, every Bitcoin, it means nothing on its own. It has to be changed in dollars because it's not to call it a cryptocurrency and to call it a currency is disingenuous because it's not a currency. It's just not. It may be a medium of exchange over the internet. Yeah, okay, I can say that. But the bottom line is the dollar is the currency. Nobody's trading in no fucking Dogecoins. All right, we got my man Jay Rory. Jay Rory decided to send me 0.0256 Bitcoin right here. Oh, that's right. He sent me $5. He didn't send me no motherfucking Bitcoin. So it says buy Dogecoin with this. Can I? Oh, he says can I? Everybody loves it when I say that. It's like we gotta hold the line. Everybody, hold the line. Hold the line. Everybody, get together. Hold the line. Hold on, everybody. We're gonna fight for this. We're gonna fight for the hill. Hold the line. Hold the line. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these Reddit motherfuckers? Okay, by the way, somebody decided that they were going to try to troll me and talk about fucking GameStop going above $100. Yeah, well, where the fuck is it now? $98 and dropping. Look at this shit. Reddit goes. I'm using. I'm trying. Yeah. Let me swap this screen over right here. Fucking this bullshit is going down. Like it's like sinking like a stone. Like I'm like, hey guys, anybody, I'm sharing it right now, my TD Ameritrade. Anybody who bought into fucking game, like, because this is the scary thing about it to me, to the Ponzi scheme aspect, right? Anybody who bought this bullshit, anything above, because you got to remember, see, this is the thing. Like, I was criticizing it. The first video I made criticizing GameStop, right? The first video I made was when GameStop was about $300. Anybody who bought this shit around $300 just lost $202. So if you hold the line, everybody hold the line. You can't sell. What are you, stupid? You can't sell. Don't sell. Hold the line. You got fucked out of $202 right there. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And the thing that gets me is Congress hasn't stepped in quick enough to change any of this shit. Because first of all, if you're talking about buying stocks as a group online and pumping up values, that's illegal. That's called a pump and dump scheme. I've known what it. Now the problem is some people say a pump and dump is if you have an insider, and then they go and find out that Roaring Kitty is a fucking insider. And I knew it before they even knew it, because half of these motherfuckers on the news, they have no idea how this shit really works. Uh-oh. Somebody gave me a super sticker. What's this? Sinius
That's
one.
me.
Oh, okay.
That was laughing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you give me dollars. You damn sure didn't give me no Bitcoin, right? But my bottom line is, it's like people are being suckered out of their fucking money. And I'm like, why isn't Congress doing anything about this? Not only that, all these crypto mining guys, they're buying up all the video cards. People can't play video games. They're buying up all these video cards to mine this bullshit, wasting a lot of electricity. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What's going on here? Look at game. Now people are like, "Oh yeah, look, GameStop's $100 now." I'm like, okay, yeah, it's $100 yesterday. What is it now? $98.99. If GameStop, I'll tell you like this: if GameStop's any less than $400, then you lost a lot of money if you bought into it.
Wow.
It's sad, but there were people who were buying this shit above $300 because they kept being told. Somebody kept telling them we're going to the moon. And they said it's going to $1,000. It never got to no damn. It didn't even get to 500.
Wow.
And it's not gonna, because I guarantee you, all of those short positions, all of those guys have repositioned themselves. Once it dropped to $50, see, that's the thing. Once that shit dropped to $50 and it was below $50, right? All of the shorters, they're not. You think they're gonna sit there and hold the line? Hell, fucking no. They sold that shit. They sold as much as they could to recoup as much as they could as the price fell back to where it was supposed to be. So if you get suckered into buying into this shit now, all you're doing is throwing money into a trash can, because now the short sellers, the hedge funds, they're gone. Those guys have moved. Those guys have quietly repositioned themselves. But my thing is, what? And I understand that the majority of these people buying this stuff are on Reddit and they're on Robinhood, and you're talking about young kids who are being suckered out of their money. They're being suckered out of their money, and I don't understand why Congress is letting this shit happen. Because, granted, they are 18 and 19-year-olds and all that, but as far as I'm concerned, you're being suckered out of your money.
They're trying to get rich quick.
They're trying to get rich quick. It's a Ponzi scheme. A pump and dump is essentially a Ponzi scheme. Early money goes in. Now, granted, listen, if you bought Dogecoin and you bought Bitcoin at like $1 or some shit, or if you bought Dogecoin at like less than half a cent, yeah, you're definitely up. But think about it. You would have had to have back then. You would have had to say, you know what? Yeah, I had friends, just like one of you guys say you bought Ripple. Well, I had friends who were talking to me about Ripple, and then there was another one at the same time. It was Tron, Ripple and Tron, and they were buying this shit back in 2018. The thing about it is, it's like, whether or not they sold it or held on to it, I don't know. But that's the reason why with my stocks, I go long on everything. I don't bother selling just because of a dip. I just wait. That's the reason why when I bought marijuana, I held on so long. Like, yeah, it's like this. If I had bought 10,000 Doges back, right now, how much would that really be worth if I bought it when it was like less than a cent? Like, if I bought 10,000 Dogecoin right now, that's $500, give or take. That's $500 that I have to basically wipe my ass with and hope that the value doesn't keep falling. I can't see doing that shit.
May I ask a question when you're done?
Yeah, go ahead.
So realistically, like, where do you think, like, I'm sorry if I'm going a little bit off topic, but Where do you think XRP is gonna like? Do you think it's gonna hit $1 eventually? Because I hear a lot of prediction about it. What do
All
you
right,
think?
well, I'll tell you just like this.
Uh-huh.
X Ripple's value, if it has any, Ripple's value is based on what happens with its lawsuit. Because you know the SEC said that Ripple was an unlicensed security, right?
Okay.
So the problem is Ripple can only go one of two ways. Either it could be devalued or it could appreciate in value. Now, the only way it's going to appreciate in value is if you're allowed to actually trade it. The SEC put a cease and desist on trading of Ripple, right? You used to
Oh.
be able to trade Ripple on what was it, Coinbase.
Uh
You
huh.
used to be able to trade it there. Now, there's a couple of forex traders and stuff that still trade Ripple, right?
Uh huh.
But the problem is, if the SEC keeps that lawsuit on them and tells them that no, you guys are an unlicensed security, and if Ripple loses the lawsuit, Ripple's price is going to go down. What I will say is there's a lot of institutions that are trading in Ripple because you got to remember, every Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency, right? There's only 21 million supposed Bitcoin that'll ever be in circulation. But what they're trying to do is it's just like with stocks. They're trying to split the stock by saying, okay, well you can have as many satoshis because what we can do is we can keep splitting the Bitcoin, right? So the few people who got in the very beginning who may have had 100 Bitcoin or 1,000 Bitcoin, those people are, yeah, they're rich, but they're only rich because of everybody else putting in all their money. Here's
Wow.
the thing though. When they have those Bitcoins and they create these Satoshis and stuff, because that's the denomination, Satoshis, right? When they have Bitcoins and they create Satoshis, you have to ask yourself, is this shit really tradable? Like, okay, if you're a person who travels like I do and you go to Thailand and you go to I'm gonna drop the link just in case anybody want to get in there. But if you travel and you go to Thailand, you go to other countries that actually accept Bitcoin as a payment method, well, okay, you can use your Bitcoin to travel and stuff, right? Here's the problem. If you ever try to cash the Bitcoin out, IRS is going to hit you over the head, and then they're going to get you for all the years you didn't pay on that Bitcoin, right? So cashing it out is kind of out of the question. What I will say is people who own a lot of it, they may
Oh.
be able to use it for spending purposes, especially if they travel and they like to stay anonymous, right?
Uh
But
huh.
as for Ripple, businesses like using Ripple because Ripple is actually a more improved version of Bitcoin technically. So it's the anything that's a newer version of Bitcoin, it transfers faster because they have improved hash rates and this, that, and other. So I can understand when a lot of businesses might want to use it to trade back and forth. But you have to understand the average person who's buying it, the average kid who's buying it, you're not buying it because you're trying to transfer money back and forth. You're buying it because you're trying to get rich quick by speculating on the price.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem that I have with it. It's not being used for I always now and let me say this. I always thought cryptocurrency was a great idea in order to get around America's sanctions on certain countries like Venezuela was going to make the petro coin, and then there was some other coin. There was some other countries like in Africa, and they were going to use cryptocurrency because they use cryptocurrency now, and they use it because they have phones, but they don't have banks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought the idea of cryptocurrency was a good thing. My problem is the way it's being used is absolutely wrong because you're not trying to use it to exchange money from you to businesses or you to person. You're trying to use it as a Ponzi scheme. You're trying to put money in and you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
take more money out. Like if I bought 100 Bitcoin, I'm not holding on to it to use the Bitcoin. I'm trying to take out thousands of dollars in cash,
Mm-hmm.
US dollars. US dollars. I'm not trying to get no damn Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say this: a whole lot of people, I think I think a lot of people's taste for cryptocurrency may have been kind of halted this week with what happened over at Tesla,
Oh,
because
what happened at
because
Tesla?
oh well, what happened at Tesla? Elon Musk bought 1.5 billion dollars worth of Bitcoin with his Tesla money,
Oh,
and now Tesla and Bitcoin's prices are intertwined. Bitcoin dropped, Tesla dropped. So Tesla was trading at $880. Now they're down to like 670 or some shit.
oh.
Yeah, have you looked at the value of Tesla
No,
yet? Yeah,
I was
Tesla's
busy
getting its ass
working.
kicked.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Tesla's getting their ass kicked. Thanks a lot, Elon Musk, you dumb motherfucker. You fucking smoking weed and shit, and I'm supposed to trust you? Yeah, god damn. This is what happens when you start giving people government subsidy. Look at this. Tesla's $671 right now. This shit was 880 at the
wow.
beginning of the month. It was 880. So you just now granted, I was telling everybody to get Tesla back before the split. So if you got in before the split, chances are if you got in early enough before the split, you're still way up. The problem is most of those people, they're backing out of Tesla and they're selling their shares because they have no idea where it's going to go. Now, I personally know that Tesla's okay. They're going to do well over time. But my thing is, you just watched yourself lose thousands of dollars when it went from 880 down to 672. Granted, you could buy in right now. You could buy in right now, though.
Uh-huh.
You know? So my thing is, it's you guys gotta plan your investments a little better. Now I got some trolls who be hanging on my channel and they be like, oh yeah, well why don't you show your losses and shit? So let me show you exactly where my account is. Let me show you exactly where my YouTube account is right now since they want to be so fucking funny. Okay. So here we go. I am at $19,629. Now keep in mind, I started with $5,000. And when MJNA was at its height, I sold out of MJNA, right? So you're probably going to notice that my total position here in just this YouTube account, $19,560, right? It's a hell of a lot more than goddamn Dogecoins, isn't it? So anyway, I bought I bought some Microsoft. I bought 10 shares Microsoft, and the reason why is obviously because of the dividends, right? You could probably see that. I think you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at. Yeah. Okay. So I bought in because and by the way, I also bought a company called BRMK. I'm only down, I think, like 18 cents per share, but I don't really care about that because it's going up. I'm not worried about that. Broadmark Reality, I'm sorry, Broadmark Realty Capital, right? So I bought a little bit of that, but the most important thing that I bought here was the Microsoft because Microsoft, if you've seen Microsoft, Microsoft is headed up. I don't give a fuck about the temporary loss in the Dow. But Microsoft, as you can see over the last year, Microsoft has steadily been gaining and gaining and gaining. I already bought Microsoft in a different account, but this is my YouTube account, and I wanted to lead by example and say, okay, guys, what you want to do is focus on dividend stocks. In fact, I got just to prove my point, I got paid a dividend. Let me see, where is it? I got paid a dividend. I think it was either yesterday or today. And if you look at my what is this? My all transaction types. If you look at my dividends right now, I just got paid by somebody, but I didn't even pay attention who it was. Look at that. So I got $223 from FCA. Then I got ISBC, Investors Bancorp. I got $14 of dividend from them, and then I got $12.75 from Capital One. Now that was just by letting my money sit there. I'm getting dividends off of these stocks. And that's just 3 companies. I have more. That's just 3. So with this account, I'm trying to lead by example and show everybody. It's like, listen, guys, stop trying to get rich quick because it's not going to work. If you
Nope.
build yourself a dividend portfolio in the future, you could have enough money coming back where every now and then you could be getting $1,000 or $2,000 check back here and there. And if you buy into companies that pay dividends periodically instead of just annually, you could be doing even better than that. I've been trying to tell people that. But everybody, oh, no, I want to buy Dogecoin. We're going to the moon.
Can I
We're
ask you
going
another
to
question?
Jupiter. Huh?
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah, sure.
So say if you got like $100,000, you don't know what to do with it, just like basically put it into like Microsoft and a couple other dividend stocks, and you can make. Is it true that you can make like 500, like close to like $200 to $300 a month if you like have
Okay,
100,000?
wait. You're saying, wait, say that again.
So say if you have $100,000,
Okay.
and you invested like into like companies that can do like give you like into dividends. How much would you basically accumulate a month if you have like $100,000 you invest into Microsoft, for instance?
Okay. Easy
Mhm.
question. On the internet, all you gotta go. I posted this chart a while ago. It's called the Rule of 25, right? There is a chart. It's called the Rule of 25. And in the rule of 25, they're hold on, I'm bringing it up in a second. They show you how much money approximately you would have to have invested in order to get a certain amount of money coming back towards you, right?
Uh-huh.
So, where is it? Okay, so here it is right here. This is the rule of 25.
Rule 25, interesting.
Rule of 25. So they say use the rule of 25 to calculate. Okay, wait. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing. I may have to change this screen. You should be seeing exactly what I'm seeing. I may have to change this. Give me a second. I may have to change the screen. So anyway, yeah, this is the rule of 25, right? I'm trying to make it bigger. Give me a second. Let me just try to figure out how to do this because they don't allow you to share two screens at once. So Chrome tab, rule of 25. Okay. All right. So this is the rule of 25. You can all pull that up yourself. But anyway, with the rule of 25, they're saying that you have to have about $250,000 invested in order to get back close to $27 a day, $833 a month, or $10,000 a year. Now, $250,000 sounds like a lot of money, but if you invest steadily from the time you're like 18 until the time you're 30, actually it's really not that much money. And when you really think about it, um, because of like inflation, it's actually probably easier because you're probably earning more money right now. The problem is that your money isn't going as far, but you're probably getting like for instance, government's printing out welfare checks for God's sakes. They're printing out fucking what is it? Biden said he's going to give us $3,000 welfare checks, and I shouldn't say us because I'm not going to get anything. But if you're investing if you invest steadily from the time you're 18, chances are you could actually get to $250,000 worth of money or more by the time you're 30.
Wow.
Now, granted, when you're older, you're making more money. Like, for instance, every single year when I do my taxes, I get back about $10,000 in cash from the federal plus the state, right? So if I were to take all 10,000 and invest all of it, and I did that for, what is it, 25 years straight? Yeah, or no, they're not 25 years. If I did that until I got to $250,000, yeah, that would take some time. Okay, so maybe that would be about 25 years, but that's assuming that I always got paid $10,000, which it might be more, it might be less. The
Mhm.
bottom line is that's not how you're supposed to invest. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take a small amount out of each one of your checks, even if it's $100 a month. You're supposed to take a small amount out of your checks and you invest that. And I guarantee you, if you start building up a dividend portfolio, I don't know how old half of you guys are, but if you start building up dividend portfolios
I'm
and
20.
you do it over, oh, okay, yeah, 20, no time like the present. If you, I don't know how much you make per month, but if you take a small amount of money every single month and you invest it in what high profile dividend paying stocks,
Uh-huh.
eventually you'll have built yourself a portfolio that's paying you back.
Oh,
And a lot of people right now don't have pensions, and a lot of people right now don't have enough investments where they can say, "Oh yeah, I've got money coming back." Because
wow.
there's a lot of people out there who are fucking broke. If not for welfare, they'd be out on the streets sucking dick for money. So the reality is, it's like you don't want to be that way. Look at California. There's a lot of tents, and the people are out there. There's a lot of like tent cities, and the people have to prostitute themselves just to stay warm. You don't want to have to do that.
Nah.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
I'm not selling no booty.
I'm not selling.
I'm not doing it.
Um, another question.
Sure, sure. Go ahead.
It's a little bit off topic. It's a little off topic, but are like I always watch your videos and everything.
Sure.
Um, I do notice that you were talking about like credit, like personal credit and everything.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Let me
And,
pull up something about credit. Let
and
me
I
let
was
me
trying
pull
to
up.
talk to you about like business credit. Like how powerful is a business is business credit?
All right. First of all, if you have a business, that's the
Yeah.
only time you should have business credit. If you don't have a business, you
hmm
should not be fucking around with business credit. Do you have a business?
Yes, I have over. This might be like the crazy thing. This might be the crazy thing, but I have over 13 EINs, and I joined this program, and each of them for $500, and I'm building each of the EINs. And I wanted to talk to you about that because like not a lot like a lot of these like millionaires online, they're like, hey, join this right here. If you build your business credit, you can leverage like big things and $250,000 loans and all this
I'm
crazy
gonna
stuff.
let you. I'm gonna let you see my. I'm gonna pull up my personal credit right here. So
Okay.
I'm gonna let y'all see my personal credit because I don't mind. So I just go into their website. So it's like they let you see your FICO score. What does this shit say? Let's see, because I haven't checked it in a couple of days. Oh shit! How about that? How about that?
Oh, shit.
Let me tell you something. When I walk, oh shit! Somebody sent me some Bitcoin right here. All the way live media. Thank you, sir. He sent me some Bitcoin. Let me tell you something. When I walk into when I walk into a business, when I walk into a motherfucking car dealership, or if I walk into, let me tell when I bought the last, because this is the second house I bought, right? When I walked in there, it's like they brush you off because they don't think you're about shit. But as soon as they check your credit and they see that shit right there, they're like, how the fuck did this nigga get an 850? And that's the simple fact, man. When I can walk into these businesses with my dick hanging out and be like, yo, listen, whatever you got, you gotta give it to me, and I'm getting the lowest interest rate. Otherwise, there's no deals. And I scream at him. The manager gets up out of his seat. I don't make this shit up. The manager knows who I am at the bank. He gets up and gets me coffee when I walk in. I ain't even making that shit up.
Wow.
And I make sure
850.
I
That's
got
like
an
rare.
8 motherfucking 50
That's
rare.
rare.
That's like goddamn impossible. Look at this shit. So it says your score history. That's my score history right there. So my shit has, what was this? What is this? So March 29th, I had an 843, and like as long like my score dropped a little bit in January because I think I bought something for like $3,000 or some shit, and I used my credit card. But right there, boom, 850. What?
Wow.
Look at that shit. I don't mess around with my credit. My credit is spotless. Spotless. I make it so, man, let me tell you something. I walk up into these stores and I tell them, yeah, what it is. Give me what you got. All of it. Give it to me. Lowest interest rate. Don't try to treat me like these poor people outside with their 630s. Fuck all that. Oh, you got a Hellcat? Give me that shit for 1%. I ain't playing that shit. Give me that Jeep, bitch. Give me that Jeep. Sign it up, motherfucker. Give me that Jeep, bitch. Give me that Jeep. 1% interest, motherfucker. I walk into the credit. What is that place? What is that place? The credit union? Oh
Yeah.
shit. Whatever you got, give it to me. Give me that lowest interest rate. Do not try to treat me like these poor people out there. Don't even try it. And they're like, oh my God, this nigga's crazy. And then I'll be sitting there like, yeah, manager, get up, give me some coffee. Give me that Keurig coffee. Let's do it. Let's go.
Oh my
Let's
God.
go.
850.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's right. 850. And let me tell you, you know what's so funny?
Mm-hmm.
When my credit was 800, I never expected I could get to 850. This shit hit 850 on my birthday. It
Damn.
hit 850 on August. That was the first time I was able to post it on my birthday was August 9th of last year. And that's when it hit 850. And
Wow.
or was it last year or the year before last? I don't even remember now. I think maybe it was the year before last, 2019. I could be wrong. Either it was last year or the year before last. I forget. 850. When you
Mm-hmm.
got it, but you know what the sad thing is? When you got an 850, the only thing you can really do is take out more debt because there's nothing to do. Like I was trying to tell people, here's the thing: if you can't get an 800 or you can't get an 850, it really doesn't matter. Once you pass 760, you're A plus. Once you pass 760,
760. Wow.
yeah, 760 is
Yeah.
basically A plus credit.
I only hit 720 and then it dropped.
Yeah, well, okay, if it dropped, then you must have done something that you shouldn't have done.
Yeah,
But
something. Yep.
like you must have made a late payment or something. You can't, let me tell you something, you can't make any late payments. And not only that, you can't like you have to be really careful about how many credit cards you apply for Let's see. It says, don't end up in the trailer park in Bakersfield. Even $50 a month invested will add up, especially if you're young. Great content. Thank you. Thank you. You know, there's some YouTubers who are flashing money or they're renting Lamborghinis so that they can try to pretend that they're fucking rich and everything. But it's like I don't do any of that shit because honestly I'm too lazy. But the simple fact is, yeah, like listen, if I wanted to pretend to be a really big time guru and everything, I could do it. Like I could go right up. I showed you the place Cloud9 Exotics. I could
Yeah.
rent a Urus and I can rent a Aventador, and I can put that. I can't even fit in the fucking Aventador no more because that shit is so small. But I can rent them cars, and I can put that shit right in my backyard, and I'd be like, "Yeah, everybody, what you need is knowledge," and I could be a fake guru. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because it's stupid. Most of these gurus, it's like as soon as shit turns bad, all of a sudden these guys disappear. It's like I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing it. I talk from example. I lead by example. That's what I do. It's like do as I do and do what I say and shit, and you'll be okay. But I do it by example. I'm not one of them guru guys who's trying to get you to buy a book or is trying to get you to buy into a program. I ain't got time for that shit. I was thinking about writing a book, but right now I just ain't got time for that shit. Unless I sit down and have somebody else write it for me, and I'll say stuff, and they can start typing. You know, I'll do that. But I ain't got time for that fake guru shit because that's all you see on YouTube is these fake fucking gurus. It's a shame. It's really a shame. And everybody trying to trick people into buying GameStop. You know, it's like I ain't got time for that shit. You know, that's the bottom line. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait, so with the business credit and everything, do you know like what's like the best outcome you can do with them and everything?
What's the best out?
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay. What you need to understand is okay. Now, how much? Well, give me an estimate. Um, how much does your business pull in per year? I'll say annually.
Well, annually, let's say this, because I rent out cars for I'm similar to Cloud9. I have a Toyota Supra and a C8. So what I usually pull in is about a good month. I'll pull in at least 17,000 a month.
17,000 a month.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. If it's a
All right.
good month from both of the cars, from both of the vehicles.
And remind me, what do you do again?
Car rental business. I rent out cars.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of like Cloud9 Exotics.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll say it like this. For you, business credit might make sense because it'll allow you, like when you buy your cars that you plan on renting, do you buy them outright or do you lease them or something?
I finance.
You buy okay, so you finance them, right?
Hmm.
All right, yeah. For you, business credit might make sense because the thing about it is, you ultimately what you want to do is you
Hmm.
want to offload your liability as much as possible to somebody else.
Yes.
So basically, having a business credit instead of personal credit, having a business credit will allow you to get the low. Pretty much, if you build it up, it'll give you the lowest interest rates possible, and it may also give you special rates on your insurance for the cars because insurance has been steadily tricking up. And I
Oh,
know this
yeah.
because I was doing a car rental. Well, not really rental, but I was doing a car service here where we take people from JFK or Newark.
Hmm.
It's kind of like Uber, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or Uber or Lyft.
Hmm.
And the thing about it is, you want to offload as much of your liability as you possibly can. We got Fetters coming through. Fetters gives me the 20 Bitcoin right here, 20 Bitcoin. So, no, Fetters gave me 20 Dogecoin, 20 Dogecoin. So anyway, you want to offload as much of your liability as you can, and you also want to make it so that when you want to buy new vehicles, you're getting the absolute lowest rates you can,
Uh-huh.
even if you're financing them.
Okay.
Hopefully, with that 17,000 or whatever you're making, do you have a lot of employees?
Currently I only have like seven, about seven.
7 employees.
Yeah, seven.
Okay,
But like they're off the
so
books though. They're off the books. It's
everybody's
like
off
yeah,
the books.
everybody's off the books because like I just like for instance, if I'm not around, I have them go pick up the car. I paid them like a couple $100 to go get them and everything.
What state are you in?
I'm literally I see you around sometimes. I'm in Long Island, New
Really?
York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What I'll say is this: off the books can be good in some cases, but the thing about it is, it probably creates unstable employees because a lot of them, they have to get a steady inflow of cash. They know they're going to realize that they're not getting a pension. They're going to realize that because you don't pay them health care, do you?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not big like
So
that yet. I'm not.
okay, well, listen, there's no if you're already doing that kind of money and you
Yes.
make 17 a month, there's no
Mhm.
reason why you can't be that big.
But the
There's
issue
a
is the
there's
overhead is crazy. Like the insurance.
Oh,
Oh my
of course.
god.
That's what I'm talking about. The overhead on these kind of things is really high because chances are when you rent those cars out, sooner or later somebody's going to destroy one of them. That's
That
all.
little bit happened to my C8. So
Oh, you had a C8 Corvette?
yeah.
I'll tell you like this. There is a new kind of, it's not exotic, but there's a new car rental company on the Belt Parkway, and it's not far from Springfield Boulevard. And if you're driving towards Long Island, if you're driving eastbound, you actually see it.
What's it
It's
called?
near I think it's called Island. I think it's called Island Car Rentals or something. If you're driving on the Belt Parkway, right, and you're driving towards Long Island coming out of Queens and Brooklyn, you'll see it. It's on the right hand side, up between like for Farmers, Springfield, and Dyer Brew. It's somewhere up there,
Hmm.
and it's hard to miss because they have these really big photos of Lamborghinis. Because apparently a Lamborghini is the only thing that catches anybody's attention anymore. So you have to have either a Lamborghini or you got to have a Rolls Royce, right?
Uh-huh.
So anyway, they've got photos of that. And the next time you're on the Belt Parkway, you'll see it. I think it's called Island Recreation Rentals or something like that. I can't remember
Island
the
Rec.
name. Island Recreational is a pool shop. I'm probably confusing the name, but
Mhm.
next time I go past, I'll try to remember what it is, or I'll take a photo of it. But bottom line is this: your employees, if your employees probably don't cost anywhere near as much as the overhead, because I can imagine the insurance is really high, and I
Mhm.
could also imagine the cost of buying the vehicles is pretty high.
Three
Now the
thousand
one
dollars a month
three
insurance.
thousand dollars a month for the insurance, my God.
Yes, it's oh my gosh. Oh.
Well, you're probably able to figure out what cars rent the best so that this way you're able to balance that out. But ultimately, if you do get business insurance and you get business credit, you should be able to reduce your overall insurance cost. Because
Okay.
what business insurance does is it helps other businesses relate to your business in a different manner as they relate to your personal credit. Like
Oh,
if they're treating you like a legitimate business, you can qualify for rates that you normally wouldn't get as a person. You understand what I'm saying?
okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, look into that. Getting business credit. Look into that. American Express keeps sending me business credit application, and I keep fucking setting it on fire and burning it because I don't want anything from them. Because American Express, see, the problem with them is they've been trying to boost up their numbers because they took a big hit. I think when Costco stopped using them. So they've been trying to get everybody they can on business. Now, if you're making that kind of money,
Uh-huh.
chances are you could almost apply for a black card. The problem with the black cards at
Oh,
American
those
Express
are
is,
nasty.
yeah, the biggest problem with the Amex Centurion is that you have to spend like $250,000 a month. Oh, no, not a month. 250,000 a year, I believe, $250,000 a year. So
If you don't, they
if
just
you
kick you out.
yeah. Black Club ownership is a club, and the American Express Centurion is like one of the top black cards there is. So my thing is, if you call up American Express and inquire about their business credit, chances are making that kind of money a month, if you can show them proof,
I can show them
chances are
proof.
you'll
Yeah,
get it.
I can
Yeah,
definitely.
chances are you'll get it.
But it's just like here's the thing because I don't want you to think I'm going crazy, but
Okay.
like I'm building 13 EINs. Like is that like odd? Like does that make any sense? Like does it matter? Some people say like they set up like EINs numbers and then they build those three like they start out with three of them, but like I'm doing 13, but I have different businesses like oil company because my father's in the oil company. I'm doing oil company. I want to do a
Oh
couple
shit.
gas stations. I want to do a car rental. I want to do real estate, but I'm not too I know small portions of each of them, so that's why I create like businesses out of them. I want to do snow plowing, but like like I've been watching you for a long time, so I was like,
Okay.
this guy knows like he knows his shit, like he really does. But that's why I wanted to come into live and like talk to you and see like am I doing something stupid? Because like when I was talking to the people that the program is called True Bill Credit, and they build like business credit. They specialize in that. So I have like a $9,000 gas station card, um, for the Team 24 rental business, and it's going pretty well. But like I'm building 13 of them, 13 EIN. So like I just want to make sure like, am I doing something stupid? Am I making like that's why I'm like I'm asking you because you're specialized that you have 850 credit
Well,
score.
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a CPA working with you?
CPA. I have an accounting, so yeah, yeah. No. Actually, CPA. No. No.
Okay. Well, let me explain it just like this.
Okay.
Everybody has a different situation, right?
Yeah.
I have a CPA. I already did my taxes. I did my business taxes with this guy. He
Uh-huh.
works wonders on them. Now, what you really, really need is a CPA because they'll look at your overall profile. And
Uh-huh.
once they see your whole profile and they know everything about what you do, how you do it, how much money you're making, they themselves will be able to tell you exactly what you should do and exactly what you shouldn't do. It's easy for me to just say, yeah, just go to American Express or something, but a CPA might say, no, don't go to American Express. Come over here to this company right here because you got to remember, a CPA works with businessmen. So they see who's doing what and they see all these businessmen and they see what works and what doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
or they see who's got high fees and they see who's got low fees and they see who's getting the better interest rates and everything. Get yourself a CPA. And
Mm-hmm.
if you get that CPA, he'll straighten out, and especially if you get a good CPA. A good CPA is what they may charge you what, a couple of $100 or maybe even $1,000, but the thing about it is they'll save you so much money in the long run by giving you a roadmap
Mm-hmm.
towards what you're doing. Because it sounds like, I mean, somebody like you could easily become a millionaire without buying Dogecoin. So, because you
Mm-hmm.
can make a lot of money doing what you're doing, you're going to need somebody who you can trust to manage your profile, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
So if you get a chance, when you're doing your taxes, look into that. Get a CPA because again, I can't see your entire profile. I can only go over what you say. A CPA is going to look over everything you got, and he's going to know right away. He's going to be like, okay, listen, these are the right moves to make. And I've been using the CPA since I think I was 20, and the guys have never done wrong by me. You know.
Hmm.
Yeah, never done wrong by me. I've been very, very happy. I've been
Okay. Okay.
very happy with my taxes. And they do it in a nice, timely fashion. Everything's legal. I never have to worry about the IRS. I've never been audited. And I want to keep it that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Do you specialize in real estate too?
I specialize in real estate. I've refinanced, purchased, sold houses, I rent property to Hofstra students. And my logic was, if I buy a cheap house,
Uh-huh.
what I can do, and if it's near a college campus, I can rent it out to the students cheaper than the college can, rent to them on the campus.
That's
And
like
a lot of
such a
kids,
good idea. Yeah.
oh yeah, you know where Hofstra is. Hofstra
Yeah.
charges damn near $29,000 a year to rent their dorms because they only have a limited amount of dorms. I bought a house near Hofstra and I rented out to like 6 kids. The house's mortgage is only $2,000 a month, and I'm charging each one of them. So I'm charging them enough, and especially for to pay the bills and all that. But I'm charging them enough where I'm making like $3,000 of profit off. It's like crazy. And there was a second house that I was trying to buy right next to it. And because see, the thing about it is, if you have enough muscle and you buy into a low income area,
Uh-huh.
if you have enough muscle financially, you can buy a bunch of houses right next to each other and you can rent them all out. And you can have like your own goddamn community. And the thing about it is, all these people paying you money, And ultimately, it's like I can say it like now. If I wanted to retire right now, I could. I'm not going to retire right now. I'm going to keep on earning because, as you know, things are getting more and more expensive.
Smart,
But
smart.
yeah, man, that's the best way to go. Some people they buy a house and they live in it and they just rent out part of it. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to make it worth your while. You got to get enough profit out of it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Like, do a lot of people do that? The hospital thing, like they buy near like Suffolk, like Selden, and like they
The
rent it out.
problem I would say is a lot of people don't have a second property simply because their money has probably they may only have enough to live there, right? They may not have enough to go about the investment property. The easiest way somebody usually gets an investment property is if they have a relative who dies and leaves them a house. Then they have a house that's probably worth a lot. What some people do is they make the mistake of selling it. And if
Mm-hmm.
they sell it, they're selling it because they just want to pay off their own debts and they don't care about taking care of it. Smart people keep those properties in the family, but then the problem becomes you have to have a family that's good enough to take care of those properties over time.
Of
So
course.
ultimately, exactly, like you have a lot of broken families. You have a
Yeah,
lot of wife leaving the husband and taking half his shit, or you've got a lot of kids who are stupid and on drugs
they
and
want
they're
to destroy
using
the
up.
house, smoke weed all over, and like do crazy
Yeah,
stuff, have parties.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the problem ultimately is if you have
Mm-hmm.
investment properties near a college
Mm-hmm.
are
Mm-hmm.
awesome because you're guaranteed the money. Let me tell you something. I haven't missed a single rent payment simply because their money was coming from their student loans or their FAFSA or whatever.
Oh yeah, the
And
fast.
also, there's two people you can't go wrong renting to. Number one is the city worker, the essential city workers, and number
Mm-hmm.
two are college students who are foreign college students because when they come here,
Oh, they
that's
they're
their
on the A game.
yeah. So I get paid up front.
I
You know
like
what I'm
that.
saying? And that's see that's my thing. Like I've hustled in different ways and I've
Uh,
tried to figure out different ways to earn.
mhm.
But real estate is a true tested method. The only problem with real estate is if you die, who's going to take that over? So if
Oh.
you don't have kids who are smart enough and savvy enough to be able to watch you do it and learn it, that's the problem. Because
Mhm.
sooner or later, your shit might end up going right back to the state, and you don't want
No.
that.
No. 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 Of
Like
course.
I was showing you a video of a bathroom that I did in my mother's house. My mother's house, for example, is in Queens. That house right now is worth about $600,000 to $700,000, and we're making upgrades on it because my mom's getting old. When she goes, that goes to me, and when I take that house, I'm not gonna probably live in there. I'm just gonna rent
Airbnb.
that shit out. Yeah, no, I don't do that Airbnb. The reason why I don't want to do Airbnb is because Airbnb you have a lot of transient people. Like you've got people who are coming just for vacation. I would rather rent out to the schools and I would rather rent out to the city workers because the money. I'll tell you like this: when I wake up in the morning, like I woke up, what was it? Every morning when I wake up on the 21st, my money is already directly deposited already, so I don't even have to talk to these people. Not only that, I have insurance just in case they fuck something up. See what I'm saying? Did he drop? I think he dropped. Uh-oh, lost him. Yeah, but that's it. So who's this? Yup and Big Pop NYC. Your guys' mics on? Oh, by the way, I'm gonna drop the link again just in case anybody's trying to get up in here. Because I know
Yo,
I've got
yo,
a lot of trolls who've been watching me. They want to start making fun of me because of my GameStop advice. Oh, who's that? Who's that?
yo, what's good?
Oh, what's going on? What's new? What's happening? You
Not
make any
much,
good
man.
investments lately?
Nah, I pulled out of Ethereum at the right time, though. I'll tell you that. Thanks to you.
Well, it's sad. Ethereum, like, when we had gotten into Ethereum, this was back in 2017. Ethereum was like less than 300. Like, no, you know what? I got my sister into Ethereum at $50. And see, as long as you got in a very, 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 very long time ago, you're okay. But buying it now, no way in hell. I wouldn't buy
Nah,
it now. Because the problem is you have no idea how high it's going, and you don't know how long it's going to take to get there.
Dude, I bought Ethereum when it was at 100, and I left
Okay.
with over 10K. I left at 10K.
God damn.
Now here's a question: did you pay taxes on that?
Not yet, but I know I will.
The rule of thumb is that you have to save about 30% of the money that you're making out of cryptocurrency just in case, and chances are it will cost you that much. But see, here's the problem. The problem that I have with cryptocurrency, because I see both sides of the argument, right? The problem I have with cryptocurrency is that the IRS is waiting to fuck me the second I sell it, right? So the way it works is, if you have cryptocurrency, if you go to other countries, like let's say if I have $100,000 worth of Bitcoin right now, right? Or Ethereum or Litecoin, whatever. If I go to another country, I can spend that money and nobody will know what I'm spending it on, and I'll be living off of that currency. I'll be living off of that money without ever changing it to dollars. That means that the SEC, the IRS, I'm invisible to them, right? Here's the problem, though. How many places do you know here in America where you can go to a store and buy something with Ethereum or Bitcoin? How many places? Like almost none. Exactly. Now, granted, there is maps where it tells you where you can spend it. Now, here's the problem, though. How comfortable would you be spending that money or that cryptocurrency when there's the possibility that it can steadily rise up one day? You don't even want to spend it.
You don't even want to spend it. It would make no sense.
In the very beginning of Bitcoin, there were people who bought pizza, soda, music albums. They were buying songs, and they were buying it off of these internet sites, and they were using Bitcoin to do it. Think back to the days when Bitcoin was $1, or when it was $10. There were people who were buying shit using Bitcoin, right? Here's the thing: if every slice of that pizza was worth $47,000 if they had held on to it. So once you put your money in, you can't take your money out because it's like a roach motel.
Yeah.
It's like a roach motel. You go in, but you can't come out. That to me is a Ponzi scheme. I'm putting my money in now. I'm waiting many, many years until it appreciates, and then I'm pulling it out, but I'm taking out way more than I put in. That's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. Yep.
That's promising a future investor a tremendous amount of gain based on a small amount of input. That's a Ponzi scheme. Now, some people believe in it and everything. I understand the logic behind it. The problem is it's still a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And by the way, these highs, $47,000, they wouldn't be there if the institutions themselves weren't buying this stuff. If Elon Musk hadn't put in $1.5 billion of his money, it would have never gone to 55 or 57,000. It wouldn't have gone that high.
It wouldn't have.
There's a trick to it. What you do as an institution, you put in your money and you make a real big show of it. Like, let's say if I put in $1 billion right now, if I'm Warren Buffett, and I say, yeah, you know what, Bitcoin is the future. We're going to the moon, and I'm going to put $1 billion in, right? What you do is you put your money in after. Okay, so what you do is, like, it's 47,000, right? So you put $1 billion in, and then you make a real big stink about it later, and then everybody else will get excited. They'll start putting their money in, and then you'll be like, yo, fuck this shit, I'm pulling out at 55, and then you pull out. So yeah, you earn money, but that's a Ponzi scheme.
Exactly what it is. Yeah.
You know, it's
Why not
crazy.
just put in? You could put it in BlockFi too and get loans out on it too.
Well, here's the problem. You could put it in any of these crypto. Like, here's my thing. Stellar Lumens. I own some Stellar Lumens. Stellar Lumens is technically better than Bitcoin is. The thing about it is there hasn't been the hype for Stellar Lumens yet. Without the hype, these things don't move.
Now, the Stellar Lumens, does it run on DeFi? Is it a blockchain?
Yeah, well, look it up. Stellar Lumens is traded under Coinbase, right? Mm-hmm. And if you take a look at the price right now, it's open source. It is decentralized. It's open source. It runs with JavaScript, Python, and all that. But the thing about it is nobody's talking about it. And that's the only reason why it doesn't rise, because nobody gives a fuck about Stellar Lumens. Everything is about Dogecoin. Because this motherfucker Elon Musk, keeps putting up photos of a dog on the moon. And the market is reacting to this asshole putting up photos of a dog on the moon. And that's the hype. It's ridiculous.
Well, hopefully his investors will get his ass in line, man.
Hopefully, yeah. Well, by the way, Stellar, they use Byzantine agreements, so they use FBA instead of the traditional, like the regular mining networks. They use FBA. So there are companies that like Stellar lumens. There are a lot of companies that like it because it transfers very quickly. Because I don't know if you've noticed this, because chances are you wouldn't notice it unless you were actually using Bitcoin. If you're in another country, Bitcoin transfer rates have increased. As the prices have gone up and as that hashtag got longer, the transfer got longer and it takes longer to clear, right? So what a lot of these people have done is instead of using Bitcoin, what they do is they go to Bitcoin Cash. But the problem is Bitcoin Cash is also it's volatile. It fluctuates a lot. Like I think it was at like $600 or $700 the other day, you know? But my thing is, seeing the low values of XRP and Stellar, that's convinced a lot of people to try to buy into that. But my thing is, listen, if you're buying into that, then what about all the other cryptos like Tron? Tron is like 4 cents right now. You know, but my thing is, it's like when you're buying into these things, you have to literally let your money, whatever you put in there, you have to let that money sit for a very long time, hoping that pretty soon the hype is going to come along and boost up the price so that this way your investment will be worth something. It's no different than my weed stocks. The difference is when I buy weed stocks, I'm actually sending money towards investment in a company. And chances are, once Kamala Harris and them decriminalize weed, just like you saw with over the past month, weed is going up. It's steadily going up.
Yeah, it's about to be legal in New York because it
Yeah,
can't be legal in New Jersey and not be legal in New York. Cuomo
yeah,
ain't
because
stupid. He knows he's gonna lose money.
otherwise all I would do is drive over to New Jersey, I get high, and then drive back.
Exactly.
And by the way, I do not use marijuana. I'm just saying that's just what I could do. I don't do this. I'm just saying, you know, and that's what's so crazy about it. But it's like everything on the everything in this market is like a fun. It's like everything's like it's like, especially when you're dealing with Reddit, it's like everything they're trying to run pump and dumps on everything, and I'm not down with that because real investment is like a long term, you know, decision. It's a long term investment. It's like by the time I'm 80, I easily want to have like $3 or $4 million. You know, and I'll do a hell of a lot better having a pension and having health care and all that. Because you got to remember, even if like let me, I need somebody to point out the hospital that takes their payments in Bitcoin. Please, show me the hospital that's gonna clear out your lungs and your heart, and they take in Dogecoin. Please show me. Somebody show me. Ain't not a damn one.
Hey, Big Chuck, what do you think about NFTs and the future of them?
What do you think about them?
It could be I feel like it's a big thing that just hasn't been fully understood yet.
Well, I
Bitcoin.
think what I need you to understand is right now people are putting, and notice that they're doing this a lot with young people. They're getting young people to invest in anything they can get them to invest in. And by the way, for the people in the room who don't know what he's talking about, an NFT is a non-fungible token, right? Now, the problem with a token is worth whatever somebody says it's worth. It's like if I pull out a dime, you know a dime is worth 10 cents. If I pull out 25 cents, it's worth, or a quarter, it's worth 25 cents. A token has no set value. Most of this stuff is garbage. Most of this stuff is ideas based on blockchain. But in reality, there's so many different cryptocurrencies, anybody can start one, right? But the reality is, no government is ever trading in this stuff. Like, you know, America's not. You know, China's not. Now, China is making a digital yuan. Now, that's different. Venezuela has the petro. That's different. They made their own government-sanctioned cryptocurrency. But what they're not going to do is they're not going to allow NFTs to threaten their national currency. They'll never let that happen.
Gold/USD.
Right. Or look at what's it called? There's a cryptocurrency right now that the SEC is going after that is based on the U.S. dollar. I'm trying to think the name. It's going to come to my mind. It's called. It's a stable coin. Tether. Tether. Yeah. Nobody wants to invest in those things because they already know the government's not going to allow you to keep that shit up. They don't want you to threaten the national currency. Look at India. I brought this up already. India said crypto is illegal. India
With
came
all
right
that
out and
scamming.
saying India makes crypto illegal. I'm gonna look it up on YouTube right now. They fucking made cryptocurrency illegal. They were like, fuck that shit. Because first of all, it's bad enough that I've got all these goddamn these Indian scammers calling my house asking me about solar panels and all this bullshit that I don't want and trying to scam me, right? But
Yeah.
India already knows that if cryptocurrency was legal, they already know that most Indian people would pull out of the rupee. So they're making this. They said right away, this shit is legal. Fuck it. I mentioned this story a while ago because I was trying to raise awareness. Because notice how I talk about stuff nobody talks about because nobody's paying attention to this stuff. You haven't heard CNBC mention this shit once. You haven't heard Fox Business mention it. All they're doing is talking about how great Bitcoin is and trying to pump the bubble. It's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because the reality is a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. Now, what do you think is going to happen to those Indian scammers when they are trying to get rid of their crypto? What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think they're going to be calling up your
The
house
price.
every fucking day?
Us. They're gonna try to be
Yeah,
scamming us for our
mark my
Bitcoin.
words. Mark my words. These people are gonna be calling your house every day, trying to get you to buy cryptocurrency because they can't hold it anymore. India gave them half a year. They gave them 6 months to get rid of their crypto. So they're saying, guess what? If you live here, you're using the rupee, nothing else.
I'm an Alabama nigger and I wanna be free.
We got somebody. Who is that?
I wanna eat where the white
Somebody's mad at me because I support Biden. Why don't you be a real fucking instead of me just blocking you? Why don't you be a strong man or a big man and get up here and try to talk some shit to me? Come on, I'm waiting for it. Let's go.
You gotta
Turn that
use your
fucking
words.
music off. Turn the music off. God damn it. Talk some shit. Come on, come after me. Come get me, boy. Come get me. Come get me. I'm right here. Come get me. Turn that stupid music off. Oh my god.
Gotta kick him.
It's a damn cousin fucker.
I think that's Oil Man. Yeah, that's Oil Man. What a fucking loser. What a loser. Banned from studio, motherfucker. Let's see.
Can't use their words to speak.
Huh?
They're too scared to use their words.
Yeah, why don't you just speak like why don't you be a real man? Hey, loser, why don't you be a real man and speak, bitch?
I'm glad this tune came.
Oh my god. This is sad. And the sad thing is people actually think that they think they can bother me with that. It's like they're nobodies. It's like fuck them.
They're
Okay,
the ones
well,
taking the time out of their day to.
yeah. What the fuck is wrong with these losers?
He probably begs
What's wrong
his
with these
cousin.
losers? Oh, please, man. Well, I tell you, have you seen some of their cousins? Shit, you'd fuck them too. Shit, if you could, you'd fuck them too. Why not? That's terrible.
Shit.
So there's nothing hotter in America than some good old fashioned corn-pone white country fucking trailer trash. Good old fashioned tornado bait white trash. That's the most sexiest shit in the country, right? You know you would. You know you would. Why are people trying to fuck with me like that? It doesn't even like you can't break me. I don't know. I don't know.
You're so underrated in my opinion, bro. Keep doing.
Oh, of course. YouTube algorithm's gonna keep fucking with me. They're not gonna let me get anywhere. Like YouTube algorithm has been punishing my shit. If I had gone in the exact opposite direction, I probably would have like so many more followers and so many more views. But the YouTube algorithm, as soon as I start typing, it's like, yeah, we're gonna block this shit.
It's built on clout chasing. That's
Oh
the
my
whole
god!
thing nowadays.
Let me tell you something. In order to get big on YouTube right now, you basically have to you have to rent a Lamborghini, and you have to sell a book. It's like that's the only way to do it now. It's
Yep. Ty
ridiculous.
Lopez.
Yeah, Ty Lopez, and let me tell you something. Ty Lopez is one of the biggest bullshitters I've ever fucking seen. I remember when Ty Lopez would make commercials about cryptocurrency. This motherfucker didn't know anything about it at all. And he was like, hey, let me tell you, if I had spent this much on Bitcoin, I'd be worth $1 billion right now. That's why you should buy my book. I'm like, what? Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God. Scammers. That's what they do. It's a bunch of scammers, man. Scammers. I don't have the energy to scam people. I just don't have it. I just don't have it. But a lot of these YouTubers, man, these guys are the biggest clout chasers you could possibly imagine. I just don't do it. I just don't do it. But yeah, I don't know. Anybody else have a question? Let me throw that link down there about your investments, because I'm really, my thing right now, I'm loving the stock market. Anybody else got a question about investments?
I was gonna ask you, well, could you do an updated video on what investments to make on the third stimulus check coming out? What would you?
Yeah,
what
you mean
areas
that third? You mean that third stimulus check you shouldn't be getting?
Yeah, technically.
Well, how much are you expecting to get from it?
I think 1,200 or 400 around there.
Now, how much of that money do you actually need? How much are you planning to actually use for, staying alive?
At least half, so like at least 600 to use. Right now,
Okay, so you want to invest 600?
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're at that level where you actually need this money, if you're at that level, then chances are you probably really shouldn't be investing it. And the reason why I say that is because I prefer when the people who are investing, I prefer people who are investing to have a stable job where they can actually have a strategy and they can say, okay, what's this? Okay, yeah, so I prefer it when people who are investing, they have a stable job where they know that every single month they're going to take a small percentage of their money and they're going to put that towards their investments, right? So my thing is, if you really, really do want to invest, I'm going to take you back to my watch list. So this way you can see my favorite position.
Yeah, I was watching your dividend stocks. Like, that's something that interests me a lot. Like, and I think people don't overstate that enough. Like, you could build.
Yeah, the reason why a lot of people don't like dividend stocks is because it takes a longer time than trying to buy Dogecoin and get rich off it.
Try and flip.
Yo, Big Chuck, quick question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
How many shares of a dividend stock should you buy in order to have like a good amount of income or to produce a good amount?
If you were here when I was showing the rule of 25, the rule of 25 says that if you're looking for an income of $10,000 per year, you have to have about $250,000 invested, and that's to get an income of $10,000 a year. So here's the thing. This is not something that you're doing overnight. This is something you're doing over a long period of time. And when I say a long period of time, I'm basically saying from like the time you're like in a job, 20 years old, 30 years old, whatever, that's when you should be investing annually in high profile dividend paying companies. Apple, Microsoft, whatever else you can think of that pays a dividend. Because see, Microsoft and Apple, they're going to be around forever. The reason why is because they have a user base that's not going anywhere. There's nowhere to go. Everybody either has Windows or they've got iOS. Bottom line. Now, granted, Google is another one, but the problem with Google is Google doesn't pay a dividend. Now, I don't know what the future of Google looks like. Maybe they someday might pay a dividend, but right now they don't. Right? So as far as dividend stocks that you should go for, oil companies and banks are very safe places to put your money.
You still see oil being a big dividend payer in the future?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Electric cars and everything?
Electric cars have to get their power from somewhere, and you can bet oil companies are diversifying themselves to be the next year's green energy suppliers. Oil companies are not going to be oil companies forever. They're just not. For the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years, because keep in mind, Europe is saying that they want to have electric cars as the only car by like 2040 or 2050, right?
Yeah, in
That gives
California,
you
yeah.
that gives you more than 20 years. 20 years. You have about 20 years. That means that these companies are going to diversify themselves more towards green energy because they don't want to go out of business. They're not just going to be oil companies.
Yeah.
The other possibility is these banks. The banks are going to be around for a long time because people have to have some place to store their money. Why not collect on the dividends that they're paying for you to invest in them? Because understand something. If you put your money into a savings account with Capital One, Capital One pays you 0.05% interest on your savings. However, if you took that same money and you invested in their stock would be paying you an actual dividend right now of, what is this, 1.34%. And if you were to invest in Citibank, I think they pay more. They're paying 3%. So it makes more sense for your money to be held in a bank stock than it does to be held in a savings account. The
Rather than
problem is you want to have liquid money just in case you suddenly need money. So my thing is half your money, or it all depends on you, how you are as an investor. Let's say half or more than half of your money should be in stocks and dividend paying stocks.
right.
Because the dividends make up for the interest that the banks aren't giving you. You understand where I'm going with this?
Yeah, rather than it dying from inflation.
Right.
Yeah.
Because see, the banks, the dividends, whether you go into oil or banks or whatever you go into, as long as they're paying large enough dividends, it's actually helping you stay ahead of inflation.
Yeah.
Because every day your cash is worth less. But see, my problem is with cryptocurrency, for example, cryptocurrency makes people think that they can have a hedge against inflation by investing in crypto. That's not a good hedge against inflation. You'd be better off investing in precious metals.
Don't people do that with bonds as well, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken?
well, but the problem is right now the bonds mostly have negative yields.
Because there's no sell on.
The bond market is collapsing.
Yeah, I seen that.
Bonds right now are not doing well. And also, I'll say this: there's also mutual funds. If you don't understand the stock market and you're scared of it, mutual funds are the way to go. And if you don't want to go that direction, real estate.
Three safety bets.
Huh?
What also do you think about, like, you know how Twitter, they're doing Square, what else,
Oh yeah,
they're doing
Square and
Cash App.
the
What
transfer systems are going to do well, and the reason why is because they're trying to get rid of cash money.
Yeah, do you see that as a threat to traditional banking, as like the big boys?
Oh no, hell no. The banks are going to be in on it. First of all, think about it like this. You've got Visa and MasterCard, for example, that move your money between banks when you're using a credit card, right?
Yeah.
And you also have Visa and MasterCard moving your money between banks when you're debiting things. The banks are diversified. That's the reason why I keep saying diversifying is the best possibility. If you buy into the banks already know what's coming down the future because they're the ones behind it. So when you buy into the banks and you're buying their stock, eventually the banks may use their own cryptocurrency. Maybe the banks will say, yeah, I don't want to. The banks might get together and say, yeah, we don't want to use Bitcoin. We want to use Bankcoin or some shit. They might make a cryptocurrency. The thing about it is, by you buying their stock, you're already preparing yourself for their own diversification down the road. Same thing goes for the oil companies. They're not going to be oil companies forever. Eventually, they're going to change to renewable energy.
Like how Bitcoin wasn't MasterCard dipping their fingers in Bitcoin?
Yeah, but you know what? MasterCard is doing that for the same reason PayPal did it, because they know that if they open up themselves to let you have digital wallets, they know that more people will buy into cryptocurrency than normally would. Because one of the things that gave cryptocurrency, and specifically Bitcoin, one of the things that gave them such a huge boost was the fact that PayPal allowed you to trade it. The reason why you see Dogecoin and those things able to get these boosts is because Robinhood lets you trade it. Most other trading platforms do not allow you to trade Dogecoin or Ripple right now. They don't allow you to do it. But most of the Dogecoin is being bought on Robinhood. And
Robinhood.
granted,
Yeah.
these 18-year-old kids, they don't know what they're buying. They're just buying it. They don't know.
They're buying it for the hype, and hopefully they can go
Yeah.
higher.
They're buying it for hype. And this is the reason why I keep asking the same question. If Elon Musk really believed in Dogecoin, why didn't he put $1 billion in Dogecoin? Why did he only do it in Bitcoin?
Elon, he's a crazy dude. Why do
Yeah,
you,
he's a
why do you
troll.
think why do you think he does that to his own company? He like deflates the value of his own company.
I don't know if you followed the history of Tesla and how they've treated their employees. Tesla is like, to me, Tesla has been a fly-by-night operation for a long time, but the only reason why I take them serious now is because they've tried to pull away from that. But ultimately, the main problem that Tesla has is Tesla's a cult of personality because of Elon Musk. So a lot of the people that are buying into Tesla, it's like buying into a cult. You have to believe in everything Elon's doing when a lot of the shit he's doing is fucking stupid. That's the reason why when I cashed out my Tesla and I took my money and ran. And I made a lot of money off of Tesla. And then I used it to pad my other portfolios and stuff. And then I saved a lot of it towards my retirement. Because unlike a lot of people, I plan on retiring eventually. You know, I've got 10 more years in this system and I'm out.
Yeah, that's something I feel like that should be taught in school more often. Like I feel like, but then that's the thing. I feel schools want us to just work for the big man and don't want us to, be financially free.
Honestly, most of these schools now are so fucked up, they don't know if they're coming or going. Because my problem with the school system right now, and I think coronavirus has pretty much exposed it. These colleges are still charging you top dollar, and you're sitting at home watching a computer. They're still charging you top dollar
Through Zoom.
Yeah,
through
pretty
Zoom.
much.
This like I have cousins who are supposed to go upstate New York to go to school. Them motherfuckers are still sitting at home and they're still paying full tuition.
Yeah, as a grad student myself, yeah, that's true. It's damn true.
Yeah, it's crazy. My mom is working on a PhD right now, and she was trying to get me to go into that shit. I was like, I don't need a PhD. If I want to write a book, I'll write a book. I don't need a PhD to write a book. I've done so much in my life at this point. I can write a book based on just that. I don't need a PhD to be taken seriously. And even if I'm not taken seriously, the people not taken seriously, or the people who are not taking me seriously, most of them haven't done anything either. So what the fuck? I'm at the top. I'm the cleanest shirt in the hamper. So it's like I ain't even worried about that. But you're paying $40,000 a year. You're paying $50,000 or $60,000 for a PhD. It's like, do you know what I could do with that $60,000? I could invest in Dogecoin. Shit. I could go to the moon.
Take that 60, take it to the market, better yourself.
Man, if I put $60,000 into the market back in March, right now I would probably have about $500,000 off of just that $60,000, easily.
Sometimes I just go back and look at those dips and just.
Well, if you just look at the videos that I made and the timing of when I made those videos, when I was like, listen, oil stock, buy it now.
Oh yeah,
oil stock, buy it now. I told people, I was like, okay, Logitech, buy it now. I was like, AMD, buy it now. I could have literally quadrupled your money on certain things.
When people were scared, you ran the other way.
Yeah, I run the other way. Well, what did Warren Buffett say? He says, be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. When I look at cryptocurrency, all I see is greed and I'm fearful. I'm like, fuck that. Nope. I don't want it. But long ago, when people were worried about getting into it, that's when I was buying it. And basically all he's saying is buy on the rumor, sell on the fact. That's all he's really saying. Buy on the rumor, sell on the fact. That's all he's really saying. Be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy.
Also, I was gonna ask, what do you do to keep yourself in touch, like with all that's going on in the world? Like, how do you keep up to date on new emerging topics, trending stuff? Because that's how obviously you.
Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay, every single morning I wake up, I read the news on iPhone stocks. The Apple Stocks app, if you have an iPhone or if you have an iPad, I read that news every single morning. I'm watching the news, I'm listening to what the big boys are saying. I watch international news so I can see what's going on internationally. I travel internationally. So when you talk about things being sold in emerging markets, I like to go to the countries and see what it's like in those countries so that I can have a good idea. It's like, well, would these people buy into this? Would these people do this? Could these people afford it? A lot of people don't travel. So if you don't, let's say you don't travel, reading the news is one way of traveling because you're seeing what it is like for other people around the world, you know?
Yeah. Like I seen like Africa, like Twitter's trying to get into Africa and India type stuff. Like we're trying to get away from China, so they're using India as like the new.
India, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, India is the new big thing. And Africa is going to be a major emerging market eventually. So the problem is now you got to have yourself positioned to be able to buy into, the African market. Like for instance, there's a company called Jumia, and Jumia is supposed to be like the African Amazon, right? Now Jumia had a really good run, but lately it's been down. It's like $44 or something. However, if you look at it over the last 3 years, look at Jumia over the last 3 years. In the very beginning, it wasn't shit, and then let's say about a year ago,
2020. Yeah.
Jumia started moving up, and I guess maybe it was because people had more money in order to start investing. But Africa is a very large market. That's why China is getting into Africa, and China's trying to they're trying to exploit Africa resources, right? So
Yeah.
ultimately, India is a large emerging market. That's the reason why you want to be in the electric cars. And then after India, you've got Africa, you know? Now, my thing is, you don't have to know anything about India or Africa. The point is, you have to go after the companies that are planning investments in those other countries.
That
And
are
they
seeking.
themselves will diversify themselves.
That's right. Yeah.
You see what
Just
I'm
I
saying?
like. Yeah. I like thinking like that. I think people think too short, too small sometimes. You got.
Well, people react to hype. That's what it is. Again, listen. If I want to join the hype train, all I got to do is rent a Lamborghini and tell everybody, "Yeah, I bought Dogecoin and now I got a Lamborghini," and people believe that shit. It's not true.
Yeah.
People, people, but people react. People react to what you have. Listen, I sold out of my marijuana stock. I bought a fucking gun. It's like, listen, I can use. There's 100 ways to make your money.
It's
There's a
gotta be
hundred.
true.
There's 100 ways to make your money, but that's just. It's like, I bought a $2,000 fucking rifle. so so hey, listen, if I wanted to rent a Lamborghini, I could have done that for half the price.
Yeah. But you're being smart with your money though. You're using that money instead now to grow it later and then be more set later.
Yeah, I mean, listen, being smart with my money would have been saving the $2,000, but I just felt like buying a rifle though. So,
It's
that's just what it is.
yeah, it's a nice MMP sport now.
Oh yeah, I love this bad boy. I love this bad. I take it like my father. He was like, "Yeah, now that you bought that thing, it's like, yeah, you're gonna play with it and take it out and look at it and shit all the time." It's like, yeah, he's right.
With the ammo, it's crazy right now. Can't even
Oh
go
my
shooting.
god, let me tell you, the ammo for this motherfucker is so goddamn expensive. The ammo for this thing is costing me 90 cents a round. But it's a
I,
very good product. I love
here
it.
in Cali, it's almost like $1 and $1.10, depending where you go.
And that the sight on this thing, I like it because it has night vision. So this was like a $300 sight, but I paid like $335 for it.
It's nice. It's a hollow. Yeah, it's a holographic.
Yeah, this is like, and it has that little slide right there so that you can, like, it has a slide right here so that you can change the viewing, or if there's too much light getting in there. Very damn good rifle.
It's clean. Gotta finish mine.
What did you get? Like, I have a friend. He's planning on getting the M&P Sport 2.
Oh, I bought like a lower. I'm buying lowers right now. Hopefully, hopefully Biden doesn't do anything too
Oh,
irrational.
Biden's too busy bombing fucking Syria.
Syria.
he's busy. Biden's busy bombing Syria, so he ain't got time for this. It's like, say it ain't so, Uncle Joe.
Say it ain't so.
The left doesn't know what to do now because they're like, wait a minute, we voted this old bastard in to get rid of Trump, and now this motherfucker's bombing Syria. But
And
you know what? As soon as they figure out, as soon as the right wingers try to impeach Biden, then Kamala Harris can be president. And she can make marijuana legal, and then she can start locking people up.
again.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, listen, she was a prosecutor. She did what she had to do.
Also, I was gonna say, what do you think about China using investments to hold like countries hostage in the UN?
Well, here's my question. How is China using investments to hold countries hostage any different than how America's doing it? Just please answer me that question. China's doing the same shit America's doing. Oh, no, I'm sorry. China's doing the same thing
But
America's been doing for years.
But don't we do it under diplomatic like
Well,
circumstances?
listen, if somebody holds a gun to your head, does it matter if they have a smile on their face or if they have a frown? Which one matters more? If somebody's holding a fucking gun to your head, do you care what the expression on their face is? Do you care?
No, just ride
Because
with
I'll
it.
tell you, if America would stop fucking with Venezuela, gas prices might go down to about a quarter. But they're not going to let that shit happen. They're going to keep screwing with Venezuela. They're not going to let that happen. You know what's funny? When Venezuela started their cryptocurrency, the Petro, I wanted to buy it the moment it came out, and America said, no, you're not allowed to. They banned that shit. They banned it. They banned it the day they started it. And it's just like when you look at countries like Haiti. There's a reason why the Haitians hate the French. It's because the French did the same shit to them that America's been doing to Venezuela and that you're saying China's doing to other countries. The one thing I can say about China is that ultimately the Chinese are going to exploit your resources, but at least they're going to leave you a better looking infrastructure than you had before. So when China goes into Africa, until China went into Africa, the places where they've gone were nothing but fucking jungle for the most part. And it was underdeveloped. The Chinese go in there, they're developing it, they form partnerships with those people. A lot of them, they start intermarrying with Chinese people. They get those leftover women, the Shengnu, the leftover women that the Chinese guys don't want because they're too fat. Because the African guys love that shit. So the African guys will marry them Chinese women, and then all of a sudden now you have these twists and ties and everything. You have these family partnerships, and you have these businesses growing. I don't have a problem with that. Because when I really think back, Europe didn't do shit for Africa, and neither did America. So at least with the Chinese, I could trust them to actually do something for Africa, you know?
Leave something that will benefit in the long term.
Yeah. And that's the bottom line. It's like, who do you prefer? Somebody to hold a gun to your head smiling, or somebody to hold a gun to your head and have an angry face? Which do you want?
Smiling with the angry face.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't want the gun to
Honest.
my head at all, you know. But that's that's just me. But the thing about it is, one way or another, it's like America's not letting you be free. I mean, what they're doing to Cuba and Venezuela is the perfect example. How do we point a finger at How do we point a finger at China when we're doing the same shit to the people who are in our next door neighbors? How do we? And this is what's going on in China. Chinese and Africans are getting together and all this and because the thing about it is you have a lot of Chinese people moving to Africa. But I've been to Africa. A lot of people haven't even been to Africa, especially these people on MSNBC and CNN talking shit. At least I've been there. You know? So my thing is, it's like, how do you even know what's going on over there?
You don't.
Except for the lies that you're trying to push. Look at this shit. They got Chinese guys marrying black women and shit. Look at this. They're taking it all out. He's like, I love you, my Chinese husband.
My man's in a dashiki. Oh shit.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. And listen. If she likes it, I love it. Look at this guy. This guy's got a cowboy hat and a dashiki. What is this? Oh,
Yeah,
she look
cowboy
happy
hat.
too. She look happy. She's like, yeah, honey, I've got 2 inches of hard dick. Look at this. Look at this guy. And I can't front because most of my girlfriends have been Chinese because I was living in China for a while. And I love them. Like, I had no problems while I was over there at all. Like, everybody could talk all that shit they want. I had no problems with them. But see, America likes to paint everybody else as being barbarians and shit. Like, that's racism in the media. You know, they like to paint everybody else as being underdeveloped. But when you actually go to another country, you realize right away, you're like, man, it's so nice here. It's peaceful. The women are nice. Everybody's friendly and shit. America, they like to make it look like everybody else is fucked up.
We like
Damn
to
shame.
we like to put ourselves on the pedestal. I feel like
Yeah, no. But see, straight with America, that shit is straight racism. It's like America. Look at this. How Africa is becoming China's China. Now, you know what's so interesting? The African people have no problem with China coming in there and securing the place and using their resources because they're building pipelines, they're building electricity. Because you know what Europe always does? Europe always points at Africa and calls it dark Africa. The Chinese came there and built light. So how you gonna blame them for coming in and giving me lights when you motherfuckers are making fun of me and shit? And the Chinese will come in there
yeah.
and they'll pave your streets. They'll give you toilets. You ever been to India? India, there's no toilet to flush. When you take a shit, it goes right out into the street. At
Go out to the
least,
shit box.
yeah, the shit goes right into the goddamn street. At least with the Chinese, at least I know you're gonna build me some plumbing.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, what did America do? America had all this time to help these people. What the fuck did they do? Nothing. So my thing is, don't blame. What was it? Don't hate the player, hate the game. Yeah. What do you like? China's taking over all of
But then,
Africa, and the Africans want them there. That's the crazy thing about it,
but
because they know that they're getting
but don't
something out of it.
but don't you think our political system plays a part in it too? Because
Our
I
political
mean,
system's so fucked up until just last month they were trying to insurrect the whole goddamn capital. That's how good
yeah,
our political system is.
yeah. I feel like because the Chinese, well, you know how stuff goes down over there, Iron Fist. So I feel like that could play a part in how they get things done. It's more efficient, if
So
you if
you
you might
see
say.
that you see this right here? That's what China's doing in Africa. That right there is what China is doing in Africa. Right there. And
Building.
the Chinese laborers come in.
Well, because they can actually get stuff done. Like they
Yeah.
can actually,
And see, ultimately, think about it like this. How are you going to invest in Africa? How are you going to invest in their growth of the emerging markets in Africa if America is not doing anything to make their investment platform better? How are you going to do it? You know, I
I
plan
don't
on
know.
going back to I plan on going back to Africa eventually. I'll probably go to what is it? I'll probably go to Zanzibar, maybe. I don't know where I want to go, but I've seen some places I kind of want to go. But the thing about it is, these people are basically benefiting from this. Europe was doing nothing for them. America was doing nothing for them. So my thing is, hey, listen, if they like it, I love it.
That's how you start building emerging markets. Things change,
Yeah.
lives get better.
Yeah, man. It's like you have to see, the problem is if you believe everything America says about a place, you'll never know the truth. You just you can't. You really, really, really can't.
So that's why you like to go to the front lines and see how things are actually done.
Exactly. I'm like a frontline soldier. I'm the frontline journalist. I gotta be on the front lines reporting the truth. And people could
Yep.
choose to believe me, or they could choose to believe Rachel Maddow, who I know is bullshit. But bottom line is, the reality that they're trying to push in the media ain't the reality. But the problem is, until you really travel worldwide, you don't see it. You just don't see it.
And what made you start seeing that? Like what made you like what turned that on for you?
Well, you know what it was? Before I first started traveling, there was a movie Red Corner that was made by Richard Gere about China. And before I went to China, I had watched that movie. I had the feeling that I was going to get captured in China and that they were going to fuck me up over there. And let me tell you
Mechanic
something.
shit like
When I got there, that place was absolutely nothing like what American media painted that shit out to be. Nothing. Then I went to Africa. Then I went to Southeast Asia. Then I went to like South Korea. Everything that the media says here, especially these big news channels, it's all fucking lies. All of it. It's a damn
that.
shame.
Yeah, I would like to go, like I would like to go visit now. See, you know.
Hello?
You should
Can
do it.
you hear
Because
me?
either what I'm saying is not true and you'll see something different, or it is true and you'll see the truth. Go right on ahead.
You're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. Yo,
Yeah,
can you
that's
hear
right.
me?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can.
All right. Yo,
What's
Big
up?
Trip, man. It's cool to be on. I've been following you for about maybe 2-3 years. And yeah, man, it's pretty cool.
Fetters. Thank you. I do my best. So Fetters, America bans Huawei while China helps build. Now, and you know what? That America banning Huawei, that was all Trump and his trade war. Let me tell you something. I bet you good money, which we'll never find out. If Trump had never been president, I guarantee coronavirus never would have happened. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Trump started that trade war. All of a sudden, we get hit with fucking coronavirus. I mean,
I believe it. I believe it.
I swear to God, when I was in China in 2003, that's when SARS had an outbreak. SARS was kept on the minimum, and China did lie to America about it. They didn't tell them the actual numbers, but ultimately, you did not have anything near what you got right now. Meanwhile, Trump starts a trade war. Now you got 500,000 dead.
Isn't that crazy how Wuhan went back to normal and we're still over here like dealing with the repercussions?
Oh yeah, it's fucked up. And the sad thing about it is, it didn't have to happen. And let me tell you this: even if there was an outbreak there, if we
Wait,
hadn't been in
you think they did
hostility,
it on purpose?
do I think they did it on purpose? Maybe, maybe not. But you'll never be able to prove
Ooh.
it. You'll never be able to prove it. Here's the thing, though: if China and America had better relations at that time, and something started over there, maybe we would have caught it sooner and stopped it from spreading. We allowed coronavirus to spread for 4 months before we did anything about it. And that was Trump's administration. I knew about coronavirus back in November, and the reason why I knew was because Tesla said that they had to shut down some of the factories because there was a SARS-like disease in China. So I knew about it back in November of 2019. If I knew about it, obviously Trump should have known about it because he's got the CIA and the NSA.
I
He's
knew
supposed to know
it
that
was
shit.
bad. I knew it was bad when China built 3 hospitals in 3 days. That's when my antennas went up.
Well, I'll tell you like this: China, because they have so much manpower, they can build just about anything they want in a very short period of time. They don't go through all of the red tape and the legalization that we go through here. But the thing about it was those hospitals that they had built up real quick, those were like makeshift hospitals. Like these were places that
They
would
were
have never
prefab.
lasted. Yeah, they were prefab. These things weren't going to last a long time. The bottom line is what they were trying to do was they were trying to quarantine people. And what they did was they did the smart thing. They said, okay, what we'll do is we'll quarantine these people and we'll get this thing under control, just like we did for SARS. What did America do? Oh, I'm not wearing my mask. You're going to have to call the police. And you got people being dragged out of fucking Walmart because they won't wear their masks and shit. It's like no
Oh
wonder
my
why the
god.
spread wasn't stopped. This place fucking insane. It's like stupid. And then you got Trump who never he could have come on television and be like, listen, everybody, we gotta wear masks and we really need to do this because otherwise this thing is gonna spread. He never treated it seriously.
He never
He
wore it.
never exactly. Every now and then he would wear a mask, but you'd almost never see him wearing it. He never treated it seriously. And because of that, now you get
Fuck you
and then huh? Yeah, right. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I don't think things would have gotten out of hand like they did if he hadn't been president. I really don't.
I feel like it's scary because Trump he
Well, how
exposed
do
a
you
lot
think
of.
Hillary Clinton would have handled it?
I feel
I
like Trump
think
exposed a
I
lot
think
of.
Hillary Clinton would have dealt with it just like Joe Biden is dealing with it.
But it's crazy if you think about it, how he exposed our shortcomings as America, and I feel like people are gonna use that against us, or like they can in the future. You know?
Yeah, you're right. He exposed America's shortcomings. So Trump showed you just how weak this country actually is. But guess what? He did it so that the rest of the world could see how weak the country is. Now, you think about it. What is the average person in another country thinking about America when they're watching the Capitol being stormed by a bunch of toothless rednecks? What do
Yep.
they think? What do they think? They
Imagine
probably
that.
think, man, America's fucked up. My country would have shot us.
Yep.
Yo, yeah, try doing that shit in Portugal, man.
Yeah, right?
You get the boot stomped real quick. They don't give a
If you
what
tried
color
that
you
shit in
are.
Russia, they'd have another bloody
Right,
Sunday.
Indian, they'll stomp you, man. Shit.
No country in the world would have tolerated that bullshit. They would have never let that happen.
I seen that shit during a soccer game where the police come in and just start beating the shit out of people.
Yeah, it's sad. It's like that shit should have never, ever, ever happened, but that's what happened.
But then again,
And Trump made it so the whole world could see how fucked up shit is.
it's crazy, man. Imagine the Russians thinking, "Oh, it's that easy to get into the capital."
Yeah. Russians. I can't believe it. It's
Well,
like
there have to be a lot of English-speaking Russians.
No, just just enemies of the U.S. People who don't like us.
says in December, China was locking up people in their apartments. That should have been the day we started wearing masks and quarantining people traveling to America.
That's what I did.
Not Trump, though. Not Trump. Trump didn't do that. Trump didn't stop travel until like the end of February.
Yeah, but you want to know something, Big Truck? I'm gonna say something right now. China fucked up too. Like America fucked up, but China fucked because what happened?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna say they did. I'm not gonna say they did.
January when they had isn't January the Chinese New Year bullshit?
February is.
February is the Chinese New Year, and there was millions and millions and millions and millions of people there. You know, they and then they wanted to fly back to the United States.
Yeah.
With that virus, but meanwhile in China, shit was locked down.
Yeah.
When did China officially?
That was kind of crazy. That was kind of weird. That was weird.
When did China officially state that they had a virus?
November. They did it in November.
They should have shut down the Chinese New Year celebration.
Well, you got to remember the Chinese New Year. See, the problem is every country had to basically take steps in order to do it themselves, right? So the Chinese New Year people were going to celebrate it, but you got to remember a lot of people didn't know the seriousness of the situation because until the government tells you how serious it is, it's not serious, you know?
Yeah.
That's just what it is. It's like my thing is there's a whole lot of things that should have been done that weren't done, and a lot of people suffered because of it. Whether they suffered from dying outright or whether they suffered because they lived in these oh shit, you got African titties over here.
I saw that.
So anyway, I get oh my goodness. So anyway, yeah, but a lot of people suffered that didn't need to suffer. And of course, they're talking about now how many people commit suicide because they're lonely and shit. So, it didn't have to go down that way, but because of our leadership sucking, it did. That's just what happened.
I think this.
And by the way, like Hoodie right here, he says China started kicking out black people after CNN said it came from Africa. Maybe that is true, but the reality is there are a lot of African foreign students in China. When I was in China, I saw a lot of African foreign students in China. And one thing that I understand about China is China tries to make everything homogeneous. So they were letting the Africans come there, but what they didn't want is they didn't want to have the problems with the government borders situations and sending people back to their countries. They didn't want to have those problems. So they probably started sending people home just like what we did here. We started denying people visas. We started shutting down airports and this, that, and other. So yeah, listen, I'm not surprised that some of these governments do stupid shit. I understand why they're doing it, but ultimately China wants Chinese people to be fully under their control so that this way when they tell you to wear a mask, everybody does it. They don't want outliers, you know? And I'm pretty sure not only did they kick out Africans, they probably kicked out white people too. Because, you know, there's a lot of Canadians and there's a lot of white people who are in China, and I'm pretty sure they sent most of them home too. Because the last thing you want is you don't want to have people that you can't control in your country when you have something like this serious going down, you know?
Wish you could say the same about America. Would have been
What do you
over
mean?
this.
Huh?
Like if we actually followed some of the rules and guidelines,
Yeah.
taking it serious.
Yep. That's true.
What do you think are the long-term effects of this COVID on the economy?
The long-term effects is the economy is going to be suffering for a while, man. Because the thing about it is, we haven't even begun to really see the overall effects of COVID. Because if you really think about it, there's a lot of pregnancies that are happening right now because people are locked down and quarantined. There's a lot of pregnancies from last year, so we're going to see for all the people who died, there's definitely going to be a baby boom, definitely. And that baby boom is specifically locked into the fact that we had the quarantine. So there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to see happening as a result of us having to deal with COVID this year. But for the most part, you haven't even begun to see those things happen yet. For the most part,
I seen a report that life expectancy dropped by a year in the first half of 2020.
yeah. Well, that's probably temporary. I'll say that's probably really temporary. That's not something that's going to continue indefinitely because for the most part our life expectancy has gone up because we have better medicine and better technology. If they're talking about life expectancy having dropped because of COVID, that's like something that's just temporary. You know, that's not a long-term thing. But granted, we don't know. It's going to take
Yeah,
time. It's going to take time to really see the effects. And right now, it's too early to say. I mean, there's researchers right now who are trying to figure it out, and even they're not 100% certain. You know,
we're
they
about
couldn't be. There's not
we're
enough.
about
There's not enough data.
we're about to be in 2040 watching commercials saying there's a lawsuit saying for if you were involved in the 2020 pandemic, you can now file for this lawsuit.
Most likely, yeah. What'll probably happen is some people who get sick using the vaccine or whatever. Some people may reject it. Some people may be allergic. Um, just about every single cure or medicine that comes out usually is going to have some side effects because not everybody reacts to everything equally, right? So in the long run, yeah, we're going to probably see some negative effects. But for right now, it's like, you know, you just don't know. There's not enough data. There's just not enough data yet. It's going to take time. It's going to take us some time, some serious time. Like I'll tell you like
Crazy.
this: you're not going to know of all the effects of coronavirus until 10 years from now. That's when you'll know. I mean, you think just think
Future.
about just think about all the women who are at home getting knocked up by their husbands because nobody's going to work and everybody's staying inside. Those kids that are coming out of this, those kids are they've been sitting out of school. The children who are already born, those kids have been sitting out of school for 2 years. That means that children are 2 years behind on schooling. How dumb do you think these poor kids are going to be in 10 years?
They're gonna be held back on some education.
Let me tell you something. If you think that you know what an incel is right now, just wait until you see the next generation of children. The next generation of children, man, they're gonna be like mole people. They're gonna be afraid to come out of their cave. Because
And
you think about it, you've got people who've literally been depressed and sitting at home on a goddamn computer for almost 2 years. Think about that.
what that does to the mental.
Oh shit, man. That drive you nuts. That would literally drive you insane. So we haven't even begun. We haven't even begun to see the effects. Not like we're still in the very beginning, basically. We're still in the very beginning.
What do you think about a housing crisis in 2021, 2022?
Housing crisis.
Yeah, or
The
crash, like
reason
a
why
housing
there,
crash.
well, I'll tell you like this: the reason why there's a housing crisis is the exact same reason why there was one in 2008. Interest rates are low to the point where they're basically at such lows that if you buy a house now, you're getting the lowest possible interest rate you can, right? Problem is that causes more demand. The people who can afford to buy a house can buy a house. The people who can't buy a house are just totally assed out. But not only that, they can't get in apartments either because they probably can't afford it because a lot of people are unemployed. So it's not just about buying a house, it's also about not being able to get an apartment because you're unemployed. Not only that, a lot of people who are landlords don't even want to take a chance on you because they don't know if you're going to be able to keep paying them because they don't know if you're going to have your job. So the housing crisis right now is an opportunity for people who want to buy property and can buy it. So you got to have spotless credit, you got to have cash. But ultimately, for everybody else, this nothing's really happening right now. It's like there's a market that you can't even really buy into right now. You know?
Yeah, because I keep seeing, like, I don't know if it's fear mongering, but just stuff on YouTube.
Well, you're going to keep seeing them talking about how low the interest rates are and how great the mortgages can be. The problem is that entails that you have a job that is stable, that you have enough cash to buy a property, and that the banks will even give you the loan. In 2008, we had the exact same problem. The problem was you had low interest rates, high demand, and the bubble had burst. Because the bubble had burst, it was high demand. The problem is they had a credit crisis. So people who wanted to buy couldn't buy because the banks weren't loaded. Right now, the banks don't want to loan because they don't trust you. They don't trust your disposition. They don't know whether or not you even have a job that's stable. All right. Is anybody else want to say anything? Because I'm getting out of here in about 3 minutes. I'm glad to have you guys on. I might do this more frequently, maybe like at the end of the week, and look over the market and see how the stock market's done. But is there anybody else who needs to say anything or wants to say anything? Any more trolls that want to throw something at me?
I was gonna say one more thing. It's pretty cool that you're doing this though. It creates, like people can ask you questions and stuff. So I look forward to it in the future.
Yeah, well, no, I appreciate my audience, and I've gained a lot of new subscribers. Not as many as I want, but I've gained a lot of new subscribers. So, I want to be transparent, especially about this making this money and he's doing his investments and whatnot. So, because there's some people who have channels and what they do is they talk about like debt and stuff, and they just be debt shaming people. It's like I don't think that's productive, so I don't bother with that. My thing is trying to explain to people
How to get out of that hole.
smart ways of investing, making their
Yeah.
money. But this market right now, I mean, this market was a tough week for the market. And it was even tougher week for crypto buyers.
How much did it go down by? I think 6% or more.
Crypto in general or the market?
Bitcoin. I think.
Oh shit. Well, Bitcoin was at 50, like it was like 58,012 only like a week ago. Everybody was going crazy. All of a sudden that shit, like that shit crashed like a Boeing. That shit crashed like a Boeing 777 or what is it? A Boeing which was the little Boeing that crashed? The 767 or something? I can't even remember now. But yeah, that shit crashed like a goddamn Boeing airplane.
The
Sad.
Bitcoin shorts.
Yeah, you're the Bitcoin. He's like, yeah. Somebody says you're the stock. If you're in debt right now, you're the stock. Yeah, man. But and you know what? There's so many different ways to invest your money and make money. The thing about it is, a lot of them right now, I just don't trust. That's just me.
Someone said, "What's the link to speak?"
All right. Well, listen,
You're
Maralt,
about to hop on.
I'm about to be out of here, but I'll let you try to join real quick if you had a quick question, and then you'll probably be the last person because I wanted to get out of here real quick, and I wanted to go run to the store and do something. So the link is right there. Oh wait, is that the link? Yeah, I think it is. I think that's the link. Did I just give him the right link, or did I give him something else? I don't know. Oh shit! Nope, that's my fault. That's my fault. I didn't give you the right link. Hold on. Hold on. Invite, copy the clipboard, and okay. Here's the link right here. That's the link to jump up. So if you have a quick question, come right on in, because I'm getting ready to get up out of here. Yeah, no, sometimes I do these streams a long time. Like when I filmed the Capitol riots on the 6th, I was on there for like 6 hours or 7 hours straight.
Damn.
Yeah,
What do you
I
think
just
about
gotta.
Ted Cruz and the whole Texas
Ted
situation?
Cruz is a fucking asshole, and I'm glad they're going after him. They're gonna take his ass out of the seat.
Isn't that crazy? How he wanted help from the government when he wouldn't help people over there in New York when the
Yeah,
hurricane hit.
well, listen, that's hypocrisy. It's just typical with these people. It's hypocrisy. All these people are basically hypocrites. Oh,
Hopefully
this guy
Texas
is.
does something about it this time.
What'd you say?
Hopefully Texas does something about it this time.
They're gonna get rid of his ass. Ted Cruz is like a scoundrel. I mean, that guy is an absolute scoundrel. If I was a Texan, like, Get Social Butterfly is a Texan. I don't know how he's liking Texas right now because maybe he's not affected by the issues down there. Maybe he is. But if I was a Texan, man, I'd be getting rid of Ted Cruz's ass. Like that guy is a scoundrel.
Oh yeah, he does live in Texas. That's why he ended up going to that's why he ended up taking that trip because his wife didn't want to be there.
Right.
That's crazy.
Oh, okay. So Get Social took a trip out of Texas. Yeah, I never actually had a chance to hear directly from him about what was going on there. So, because there's a couple of people I know who live in Texas, like Herman Demonology. He lives in Texas. And one of my ex-girlfriends, she had moved to Texas. And, it's like, it's hard for me to keep in touch with people like that who've moved that far away. But, yeah. But, it's crazy. Ted Cruz, man, I hope that motherfucker loses his job, man. That guy's a scoundrel. Something's wrong with Mr. Alt's connections. I don't think his stuff is coming in. I think either your mic or your camera or something's not connected, but it's not letting you just get in. Just to let you know. Oh, you got crushed on commodities. Yeah, well, I'll tell you like this. Gold and silver and a lot of the precious metals, it's like my thing is if you can get in while they're low, that's one thing. But as far as commodities, I'm not into commodities as much as I like stocks. And the reason why is because commodities aren't diversified. If you're buying into gold, you're buying into gold. You're not buying into a bunch of other things. If you buy into a stock behind a company that deals with mining, that's different because they're diversifying themselves. So commodities can be a crazy game. I don't really like commodities that much. Like some people are trying to buy uranium and some people are buying water. Right now, water futures are okay. Because water futures are relatively cheap right now, but they've steadily been going up. But commodities is something commodity, like, it's funny because that movie Trading Places was about trading commodities.
That was a
I'm
great
not.
movie.
Oh yeah, that movie is a must-watch movie of anybody who wants to get into the
Yeah.
stock market, in my opinion.
Which movie?
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis
Trading
too.
Places, Trading Places
Trading Place.
with Eddie Murphy. Trading Places. A lot of people don't know that movie because it came out in the '80s, and a lot of people are millennials, or a lot of people are Generation Z. So the thing about it is, Trading Places is a really good movie that people should watch.
I'm
Ted
Generation
Cruz
X.
abandoned Texas.
I've been seeing a bunch of people hype up copper because there might be, get in before the future
Yeah,
demand of electric vehicles.
copper. Yeah, copper is if you can get in cheap, copper is a big thing. Copper mining companies is a big thing. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to invest your money. My thing is, I like to invest my money into the diversified company itself because I know that ultimately a big enough company that's diversified is going to make the moves that need to be made to make sure that they stay moving ahead.
They're
You
gonna
know, if
hedge
I
against.
right, they'll do all the hard work for me. I don't want to have to do the hard work. I want to be able to invest in your company. Like if I'm buying Microsoft stock, I already know that Microsoft is going to do what it needs to do to keep their share values rising.
Oh,
Hey,
I
Big
get
Chuck, I
you.
got a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
So batteries. So what are batteries made of? Whatever the hell the batteries are made of, maybe you want to throw some coin into those companies.
Well, lithium mining is behind making lithium ion batteries. However, there are other mining companies mining other materials that are used to make a battery. Keep in mind, a battery is basically when you put together metals that have different electron potentials. And, like, for instance, you can make a battery out of pennies, and you can make a battery out of pennies that'll light up a little light bulb.
I think you make one out of an orange.
You can make it out of a lemon. You can use a lemon
Lemon,
because
that's
it's
the
got
lemon.
acid in it. So the acid allows electrons to move around. And I've done that before. I've made the lemon battery and I've made a battery out of oranges. I've done that before because I had some LEDs laying around and I did that before. The issue ultimately is that in order to make these batteries to drive these electric cars, usually you're talking about lithium ions, and then they're trying to change it and they're trying to get new materials so that they can make these batteries more stable under when they're under heat and stress. So again, you have to pay attention to the technology. But my bottom line is you don't have to pay any attention to any of that if you just invest in the actual company that's making the cars. Solid state batteries. Yeah, I know. I think Bill Gates invested into a solid state batteries. In fact, I can look that up right now. Bill Gates was investing into a solid state battery maker.
He's buying
Let's see.
land too, huh?
Bill
But
Gates investing in solid state batteries. He has his own stock. What is it called? Yes, QuantumScape. That's what it was called. I brought this up on my channel a while ago, and Bill Gates is investing in QuantumScape, and
Kind of
that's
battery?
yeah, it's called the solid state battery instead of lithium ion. And Bill Gates has been investing into QuantumScape, and some people, I guess, were buying in behind them, and QuantumScape stock right now is at $54.93. But it's steadily, slowly moving upwards. But the high it was at was 131.
That's what you want right there, baby. That's the sleeper. That's the
Yeah,
sleeper stock.
yeah. So they're trying to make solid state batteries. But my thing is, I don't have to invest in the battery maker. All I can have to do is invest in the
No,
car
you want to
company
invest in
itself.
those batteries. You want to know why?
You could, because it's going to be everywhere besides just cars.
Well, the federal government is going to be electrifying all their vehicles by what year?
By probably about 2050.
Nah. Well, supposedly they still going to do it sooner than that.
But you know what? The electrical
2025.
infrastructure, the electric infrastructure isn't there yet. The infrastructure is just not there
The
yet.
federal government's going to be spending a lot of money into it, and federal money, that's good money.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you have the money to invest in these companies, absolutely go for it. It's still an investment, though. You know, it could go either way. It could go up, it could go down, because you never know. Some other technological breakthrough could come out and it could nullify this. That's the problem. That's the reason why I would rather invest in the car companies itself, because the car companies will ultimately make the decision about what works in the cars. So when you're investing in Tesla, you're investing in lithium mining. You're investing in batteries, because Tesla itself is a battery maker. You see what I'm saying?
oh, I you want the end product to be in the product itself. Like
Exactly.
you
I
want
want
the
to invest in the concept. I want to invest in the proof of concept.
yeah, you want to invest in the company, and they go ahead and take care of all that issue, and then you reap the rewards.
Exactly. So if Tesla right now says, fuck lithium ion, we're going to make our own solid state batteries, I don't have to worry about how they do it. I'm just investing in the car, or I'm investing in the company itself. And I'm just saying, you do all the hard work, you do all the research. I'm just going to invest in the overall product. Just like Apple. When I buy Apple stock, I don't know what they're going to be making 3 or 4 years from now. All I know is whatever they make, it's going to be big. You know?
Especially when they come with the iPhone
Yeah.
20.
iPhone, whatever. They might we might not have iPhones. They might make a microchip or some shit that they got to implant in your brain. I don't know. Whatever it is, once Apple the iChip and they put a chip in you or some shit, I don't know what it'll look like. All I know is they're the ones who are going to be doing it. And once they perfect it and all that, all I know is I want in. So I don't want to have to do the hard work on the ground. I want to be able to go towards the proof of concept.
All I gotta say, Big Truck, is you're the one that got me into buying this iPhone X Max Pro 512, whatever the hell it is, gigabyte phone, and I've had that thing for what, 2 years, and it's still
Good
running.
phone.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's a good phone, man. These phones are bricks, man. See, I'm pissed off that they didn't give me 1 terabyte of storage. Because if they had given me 1 terabyte of storage, I might not have bought a new phone for like the next 2 or 3 years. But the problem is the storage that I have right now, I need twice that much
Damn.
as a standard because I make YouTube videos on my phone a lot of times. So I want to have as much storage as possible. But Apple must know exactly what I'm waiting for, so they're probably going to wait till this year to bring it out. I don't think they have a choice. Chances are in October, that's when they'll announce 1 terabyte of storage. But I'm not going to buy it unless they give me something significantly new. You know. And by the way, somebody asked who
You
builds
feel like they've been
charging
stagnant?
stations. Who's Tesla? No, I'm sorry, Apple. Apple is making $550 headphones and selling them. Do you consider that stagnant? Do you consider it stagnant when you've got
I
all
mean,
these high school kids who are spending $250 on a pair of $30 headphones?
no, I was referring to like the iPhones in general. I mean, yeah, they're getting.
Um. Well, when you say stagnant, I have to say this. As far as I'm concerned, iPhone has the absolute best camera. They have the absolute best video camera. They have the absolute best software for their camera. As far as I'm concerned, I don't even know if I really use 5G. But the thing about it is, they already got the 5G phone. I've got it right here, the 12 Pro Max or whatever it is. As far as I'm concerned, they're not really stagnant. It's just that they're not doing shit like Samsung's doing. Like they're not doing it haphazardly. Like Samsung will put anything you say that you want, but they don't test it, and they don't advertise it well either. Apple, if they put something in their stuff, you already know they're going to advertise the hell out of it. You know. So when this guy
Yeah.
right here asks who builds charging stations, there are companies like Blink who build charging stations. I don't know. Have you ever heard of them? Have you heard of Blink?
I have
There's
not.
a couple.
General. No.
EV charging stations. If you look it up, there's a couple of companies that do EV charging stations. In fact, in my if I show you my stock thing, there are a couple of companies that are on my tech list. Let me see. And that'll probably be the last thing I do because I gotta run to the store for my girlfriend real quick. But China Tech. Oh yeah, there's a couple of companies in here like Blink and in the tech stocks. Blink is one. I think LAC is another one. Lithium America. FUV I think is another one. At Arcimoto. All of these, most of these are pretty much electric vehicle related. And then there's also Solo, Electromechanica.
That your soul glow.
So no, this one, yeah. But my thing is, it's like it almost doesn't matter who you invest in. But the one thing I do understand is Tesla is the Apple of electrical vehicles. When you invest in Tesla, despite the fact that what's going on right now with this Bitcoin nonsense, Tesla is going to keep going up because they've got a lot of shit coming out, and China is buying up a lot of their cars, and they have a cheaper car coming out. They got the Cybertruck coming. It's like I'm not worried about them. They're going to be fine.
Cybertruck is my shit.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to like it when I drive it. Maybe I will, but the Cybertruck is definitely going to be an interesting product because, you know, the mere fact that you're going to be like Ford is making them too. Keep in mind, you don't have to invest in the charging systems. You can invest directly into the auto companies, Ford, GM, Tesla, even Stellantis. They're all going to be making electric vehicles. And chances are, yes, Stellantis is FCA. FCA, Chrysler, Fiat, they're now called Stellantis. And my stock from FCA changed over.
The CEO, I think it's the CEO, is a freaking Portuguese.
Actually, I think they're like Dutch or something. I think they're either Dutch or Hungarian or something like that. I think they're in the Netherlands. Stellantis is owned by the Netherlands right now.
Nah, they're owned by the French.
No. Stellantis isn't French. Like, let me look it up right now. Stellantis is its headquarters is in Amsterdam. Stellantis' headquarters is in Amsterdam. It's not in the headquarters is not French. It's Amsterdam.
Hey, are you able to hear me?
What? Stellantis owns they own Alfa Romeo, Chrysler, Citroen, Dodge, DS, Fiat, Professional, Jeep, Lancia, Maserati, Mopar, Opel, Peugeot, Ram, and Vauxhall. So Stellantis is the new thing, and they're Amsterdam based. It used to be Italian because it was owned by Fiat, but now it's not. It's Amsterdam.
Hey, Big Truck, there was actually a stock that you had talked about. It was like a what type of stock was it? I think it was like a cannabis stock, and I had actually put like $200 into that stock, and my stock portfolio literally went up to 1,000. So I was really shocked.
What was the name of it?
It was GRNH is the symbol.
Oh, Green Grow. Yeah.
That stock exploded because I was literally listening to you talk about it, and I was little on the fence about it because to be honest, I'm more of a real estate guy, and I have rental properties, and I've always been on the fence about stocks because I'm a huge fan of Robert Kiyosaki and all of them. So I was a little on the fence about doing the stock. So I just kind of threw some money in there just to see what would happen. And I bought in on the right day. I think it was like cannabis stocks to the moon or something like that. And that day, it literally went from, I think, like 200 or $300 I put in there. And I ended up, I think, with like 1,050. So that was really great information.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing. You got to understand. I was telling people about buying weed stocks back when they were nothing. Like, they were less than 1 penny. They were less than a penny. I was buying like 10,000 shares at a time. I was buying, like, I think the most I ever bought at once was like 1 million shares of one of those things. And I was telling people this 3 years ago and 3 and 4 years ago. The problem was I had to sit on temporary losses, and I had to sit on those losses for like 3 years straight. And then all of a sudden, once Kamala Harris once she won and got them Republicans out of there, all of a sudden now everybody's demanding marijuana legalization. These marijuana stocks, regardless where they are now, all of them shits are going up. All of them.
Yep.
All of them are going to go up because suddenly now everybody wants to invest in those companies.
But could I ask you this question? When it comes to, like, for myself, I'm 25 years old, and I've kind of, I think it's really that point in your life where you're kind of trying to figure out which one are you a little bit more savvy with. Now, I know for me personally, I've been very successful in real estate. I kind of jumped into it
and I read a couple of Robert Kiyosaki's books, and then I went to six-figure income off of real estate. So would you say that? I mean, how do you feel about real estate as far, even though like we're going through what we're going through now, like 95% of my tenants are still paying on time. I've only had probably 2 tenants that get me in trouble. What is your feedback, or what do you think about real estate versus stocks? So do you think that everybody should kind of get savvy in one sector, or kind of just try to, I guess, be good in everything somewhat?
I guess maybe you weren't here earlier. I was explaining to people that what I do is I buy houses near colleges, and I use them as a rentable for people who normally would be in the dorm, but they're able to pay less money and rent from me, and I still have a benefit. Like, for instance, the last house I bought was $299,000, and it was right near Hofstra. So Hofstra charges you $26,000 to $30,000 a year to rent a dorm, right? Now I charge you $1,500 a month, and then I get like 4 or 5 or 6 people in that house.
Ooh.
So if my mortgage is $2,000 a month, but I'm getting $5 or $6,000 from all the people renting. So that's a 4,000. And granted, I'm in New York City, and I'm in New York, like Long Island. So the thing about it is, maybe the money here is different because in some other states you wouldn't be able to charge that much. But the thing about it is, that's my favorite type of renter. My second favorite type of renter is an essential worker for the city, because if you get a city worker, they're unionized, and when they have unions, you don't have to worry about like, even during the pandemic, all the teachers were getting paid. All the teachers during the pandemic who were in the unions, they're getting their money. They never missed a beat. They got their money. So I never had to worry about them shorting me on rent, because basically they're always, trying to stay on the up and up, and they're worried about what'll happen to their credit if they start fucking up the rent. And if they fuck up their credit, they won't be able to buy anything, and they'll get evicted. So for the most part, I haven't had any problems out of them. You see what I'm saying? I like to play it simple.
Yeah, see, mine was really with me, like, really, I started off with single family homes, and then what I did was I bought a quadplex, and I started renting out the rooms, and today that quadplex pays me almost $80,000 a year. That's after expenses. So what I did was I had my guys go in. We was making rooms out of the living room, and there was a problem with low income housing. So what I did was I started renting out the rooms at a very low price. I looked at the market to see how can I compete with competition. I went down about maybe $50 or $60 under what the market value was, and people started coming in like a floodgate. And also, in the back, I have like a very big backyard, and I'm gonna put like a three mobile homes in the back of the building to also give more income. So I got in through single family homes, but that one building literally exploded everything. And I bought the building. The guy, how much did I get under what the guy was asking? So I think I paid like 30 or 40,000 under, because even like my primary house, I think I paid like 60 something, and now with the market going up in my area, my house is now worth about 180 something. So I always try to, get houses that are under what the market value is. So if I buy a house and I pay 50 and I know it's worth 70, I have some equity there. So, but definitely as far as stocks, I mean, you have opened up my horizon with stocks, and there's a lot of great guys on YouTube, and you're definitely one of them. As far as getting people into stocks, I don't know if you know about Kevin Samuels, but Kevin Samuels is good with
I watch him regularly. Yeah, he's really good with a relationship. I watch him. Yes. But you know what? I'll tell you like this. I love watching Kevin Samuels. The problem is, Kevin Samuels is basically he's preaching to the choir. I guess you could say preaching to the choir. Kevin Samuels is like a air traffic controller who's giving advice to an airplane that's already crashed.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
I agree.
Like here's the thing: if you're talking to women who are already undesirable, then what's the point of talking to them? You know, it's like again, Kevin Samuels gives great advice, but the problem is I guess he's
gonna
hoping
make your plane crash. No thanks.
he's hoping that he gets his advice to young women who are not crashed yet, or he's hoping to get his advice to the pilot who's still flying. See, the problem is once these chicks are hitting 30 and 40, that shit is over. It's like ain't nobody trying to chase that booty no more. And the sad thing is, Kevin Samuels, what he's basically doing is he's vocalizing men's frustration in a way where the liberal media can't shut him down. He's vocalizing it in a way where women can't shut him down. The problem is the message needs to be going to these young women, not these old women, because they're already done. You know, there's nothing you can do for them.
What?
There's nothing you can do for them. So when I'm trying to give advice, I'm trying to give advice to people who still have opportunity to do something. Just like,
What's wrong with the old women?
What the fuck what are you gonna do with an old woman? What the fuck? Like I'll tell you, I keep telling this story. My ex-girlfriend, I don't want that shit. It's like, listen, if you go into the store and you're about to buy some eggs, are you gonna buy the eggs that are gonna go bad on February 28th, or are you gonna go buy the eggs that are like April 1st?
But Big Truck, one thing I've noticed, I've been around. Well, I've actually been around two guys that were very successful millionaires, African Americans, and one thing I've noticed, and even from my own personal experience, and a lot of people might agree with this, or they might not agree with it, but I've learned as a man that you seem to get a little bit more respect when you are not reliant on them. You don't need them at all for really nothing. And really, it seems like, one thing that I definitely got from him is that, when you work on yourself, you work on your image, you get your income up, and you try to higher your value as a man, you get better results. And even, learning things about, but even like watching you driving your SRT Jeep, it encourages younger men like myself that are on the come up, because even though I've been making six figures for 2 years, it's still always good to see others out there that are being an example to us to step our game up. And when I watch your channel, that's why I watch your channel, because that's what I gather from you, Kevin Samuels, Rom, and some other guys that's on YouTube, even Will Motivation. I gather that you all, even it might be unknowingly, but you all are still giving that hope to some of the younger men out there is to, hey, if you step your game up, if you do this, if you put in the work, if you do put the dedication in, this is what you'll get. And a lot of men that I've seen that are successful, they get a lot of respect from their wives. Their wives don't give them the disrespect that I see a lot of broke men go through. They don't get that disrespect, and it seems to be a lot of the broke men that have this kind of woe is me spirit, and they know they can't go anywhere in life. They feel like they're at a dead end, and the women sense that, and they disrespect them, because I don't see that happen from higher income men that have a strong demeanor, they have strong character, and they actually believe in their self.
Well, but it's based on what you said. First of all, a high income man is not going to tolerate bullshit. He's not going to tolerate a woman. If I'm a millionaire and I got a girlfriend and she doesn't have what I have and she starts giving me problems, I'm not going to tolerate that shit. I'm going to kick her ass to the curb and I'm just going to go get somebody else. That's all. And the thing about it is, there's a never ending line. Look at R. Kelly. R. Kelly, all these allegations about this motherfucker, he does a goddamn concert. Bitches are lined up to get to R. Kelly's concert. Now you've been told that this guy is raping young girls pissing on them. You've been told that R. Kelly is literally pissing on these bitches, and you're going to his fucking concert, really? So the whole point is a high value man. What? Yeah, he's in jail right now. But the thing about it is, it didn't have to go down that way. But he was stupid about it, and he had 2 young girls living with him, and he can't marry them.
Girls, how young?
I don't know. I think they were legal, if I'm not mistaken. But the problem is, they'll always say that he was messing with them before they were legal. But the bottom line is, listen, if you're telling me that this guy is pissing on me and shit, I'm not going to your concert. So the bottom line is, a high value man doesn't have to tolerate nobody's bullshit. And the one thing you got to remember about women are always looking for a man to support them because they cannot manipulate the physical world and they cannot deal with the shit that a man deals with. A man does more dangerous jobs. He works longer. He works harder than a woman ever could work. And a man does more dangerous jobs than a woman ever could do. That bullshit that you see in liberal media about all of a sudden they put a woman's face on everything, all of that is fake. If you left just women around and told them, yeah, you got to build a bridge and you got to build up this city, that fucking shit is not getting done. But when you get a bunch of men, if you have a bunch of men and the men are like, yeah, guys, we got to build a bridge and we got to build up a city, you'll get New York State. And that's the truth. Women can't handle that shit. It's like, I know women, they call out of work just because they got a fucking headache. I'm like, what are you talking about? You got to go to work. But what you're saying is a man who's making his money, people respect a man who's making his money, but they don't respect a man who's not making no money. Like they always said, they said if a man doesn't work, he doesn't eat. And that's the bottom line. If you're a man and it doesn't matter how much you're making. If you're a man and you're out there and you're making big money and you're making whatever money you're making, it doesn't even have to be big money. Some woman is going to be like, oh shit, yeah, I could use this motherfucker to support me. You know, you could be a garbage man. All the women are thinking is, oh yeah, he's got a pension and this, that, and other, and he works in sanitation. They might not ever tell their girlfriend that you work in sanitation. The simple fact is, women are always looking for a man to support them. And the reason why is because it's very expensive to be a woman. Because they spend all their money in hair care. I went to the barbershop. I get me a $10 haircut, and I give them a couple dollars tip. Or I get a $20 haircut, I give them $5 tip. A woman goes to the beauty salon. That shit is like $100 or something like that.
Yep, exactly.
And women can't afford. See, that's the reason why America is ultimately turning into such a welfare state. The reason why is because women are outvoting men, and women are voting for more and more welfare. So the thing that they don't seem to understand is the men who are living in that welfare state are always going to do better with the welfare that they're voting for. So we'll always be ahead of you. It's economics 101. It's called subsidy capture. If the women are voting for all this welfare, the men are going to get it too, because the government is not allowed to just give the women and not give the men, right? So the men are going to take their welfare and they're going to invest it. Or they're going to take their welfare and they're going to save it, or they're going to buy car parts or some shit. The bottom line is the women are going to spend back all of their welfare right back into the system. And they're still going to be broke.
Exactly.
Like every single year. Like last year, I didn't take a single day of sick leave last year. Women, all they got to do is get that period. Oh, I got to call out. or like a man, also when it comes to children, a woman, her natural responsibility is the primary caretaker. A man is designed to go to work. A man doesn't have titties. A man doesn't breastfeed. A man doesn't have a belly that's gigantic with babies in it. That's not how nature designed this shit.
Yep, I agree.
And somebody's saying, yeah, Big Truck is red pilled. The thing about it is, it's not. I was red pill long before red pill was a thing, because it's basic science. It's not red. It's not even a red pill. It's basic science. The reason why you're sick is because your vagina is fucking with you. And by the way, as far as somebody saying older women are still worthwhile, yeah, you go right on and keep believing that shit. Guess what? when a woman gets a certain age, eventually her eggs start to rot inside her, and them shits turn into cancer. And that's the reality. Like, you hear women going into, they be like, oh yeah, well, I've got fibroids and shit, and they got to get cancer treatment. That's the reason why they're trying to get a man who's got a healthcare plan. Because the thing about it is, a lot of their jobs they don't have enough money to support themselves. When a woman starts getting old, if she has no kids, her eggs literally destroy her from the inside out. Have you ever watched an apple rot from the inside out? And they say, listen, if you don't get this apple away from the rest, it's going to spoil the whole bunch. Yeah, that's basically what happens. So my thing is, no, man, listen, if you don't have a woman right now, you should be getting the youngest woman you could possibly legally get. Like, if you're 20, she should be 18. If you're 30, she should be 18. If you're 40, she should be 18. Like that. Like that's my thing. Don't go for no, like, if you're 40, don't go for no 40-year-old woman. Right now, my ex-girlfriend is living in her father's attic with her mom and dad, and she's 40 years old. I'm 39.
Wow.
She's 40 years old, and she's living with her parents. She quit the job. I told her to keep the job. She quit the job. Bitch is broke now. She's still driving around an old ass car that's fucking 2008. And I tried to tell her, I'm like, don't quit this job. Keep this job. Keep this job. Oh, well, I can't do that because I don't like it. Blah, 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 blah. Had she listened to me, she'd be making $100,000 right now. Every year, she'd have health care, a pension. Right now, bitch barely working.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know.
But see, my situation was a little different.
You're the daddy.
Luckily, I met somebody a lot earlier. Like I met the girl who I'm with. We've been together almost 8 years, and
that's
she was with me.
You got children? You got children?
Yeah, we got one daughter, but
okay.
She was with me before I didn't have anything. I mean, she watched me struggle, and now today she doesn't even have to work really because I make so much. I make enough income to
God bless you, man. Amen.
Did you guys marry?
No, we didn't get married because I'm not gonna lie. I didn't hear marriage until I started listening to Kevin Samuels, and then this year we're working on getting something together because it was just, I guess it was a bad stigma that I had from being a child, and I just had to kind of grow up mature and look at it as something mature to do, so to speak. But it is something that's definitely on my mind to get done within the next couple of months.
Here's my question. Have you heard my saying about marriage? Marriage is an insurance policy for a woman's rapidly depreciating market value. Understand something. I understand the reason why we need marriage. It's because mostly for your children to have legal rights to all of your property. But ultimately, marriage at this point is nothing more than a woman's insurance plan. Child support is a woman's insurance plan at this point. And my thing is, I don't have kids yet. When I do have kids, I want to be married first because I don't want to have to ever deal with not having legal rights to my children and all that. But the thing about it is, I don't want to marry an American woman because American women have been poisoned by this culture. This shit.
I'm gonna say this, Big Truck. My lady, she's from Honduras. I've only dated Hispanic women throughout my whole life and never had a problem with them. I haven't really dealt with too many black women and throughout my life. Is 90% of them has always been Hispanic, and I just like them. They love to cook. I can't say all of them are good, but they definitely a lot. If you get I'll say from my personal experience, you get the ones that is not Americanized, they're great.
Yeah, but that's the key. Not American. Once they're Americanized, it's like you better look somewhere else.
Stay away from the divas.
Yeah, because I don't trust them anymore. Because the problem is when they're in this American culture, it's like they just all they want is material shit, and they're not interested in being servants to their man. A woman has 2 jobs. Oh, everybody understand, a woman has 2 jobs. You know what those 2 jobs are?
Well, PG or X-rated?
A woman has 2 jobs. A woman's job is to keep your stomach full and your balls empty. That's her job. That's her job. And the second she tries to
We're just going
deviate
rated
from
R.
that, the second a woman tries to deviate from that, that's when you get the divorces happening. If a man has his balls being emptied all the time, he ain't thinking about no other women.
Exactly.
Think about that. If you like, let me tell you something. My chicks, well, especially these Asian girls, man, they will fuck you until you're about ready to die from a coma. I ain't got time. There's sometimes you can't even think of sex because you don't have the blood pressure. You just don't even have the blood pressure. And talk about keeping my stomach full. My Asian chick, she'll be on the stove cooking all types of shit that I never seen before.
Chicken. Can't beat it.
Mixed vegetables, kung pao chicken, whatever you want. And if you like Dominican food, fine. My uncle's Dominican wife, they got 3 kids. They've been married for like 10 years or something. She nearly killed his ass because she was making him so much good food. Like he was eating pork, he was eating pernil, all that shit. Oh, you know how Dominican women cook. My uncle, man, let me tell you something. They got 3 kids, so you know they're fucking. And by the way, my uncle, he's like 52 years old. My uncle's 52, and she is my age. She's 39. He's 52. There's a 14-year-old difference between them, right? Now, they got 3 kids. They've been married they've been married longer than Kanye West. So, you know they fucking, because they got 3 kids. I think she's done by now because they haven't had no more. But the thing about it is she's making all that good food every time I go over there. Oh, would you like some rice and beans? Would you like some pernil? Whatever you got. She's making chicken, this, that, and other. My uncle, he was gaining so much weight because this chick was fucking him and cooking for him. And he gained so much weight.
Shit. I'm going to tell you what's the shit.
Now you try to get, now I say this, try to get an American woman to cook for you in a way where you're going to be happy all the time, and try to get an American woman to give you that level of sex where you've got 3 kids and a happy marriage. Yeah, you try that shit. Try finding one. Please.
Well, see, the problem with a lot of the girls my age that I find is that they can't cook. Like, especially before, like my lady who I'm with now, she can definitely throw down in the kitchen. But I've been with some girls that can't cook oatmeal. They don't even know how to cook eggs. I mean, they burn everything. I've seen it. I've seen it all. These young girls.
Do you realize that this current generation, a lot of these girls can't fucking read? So even if the oatmeal tells you boil this much water, they don't know how to measure the fucking water. They don't know how to measure the cups. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I made a corporate. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying a lot of females have to also understand too. If you're looking to get a man that's on a above average scale, you're gonna. I mean, I agree with Kevin, and you're gonna have to step it up. I mean, like even me being at my level now, and being blessed and fortunate at my age to be making what I'm making. I mean, my whole thing is like, if I had to deal with a female like that, I would kick them to the curb immediately because it's like my standards are higher. Because I work my ass off to be where I'm at. I refuse to allow a female to treat me any type of way. I mean, I work too hard for what I got to allow some female to treat me that way.
But you know what the problem is? Once you had children with her, you lost all your rights basically to say you gotta treat me a certain way. Because they when they said ball and chain, they didn't say that for no reason. They actually meant it. Once you have kids with a chick, you're trapped. You're trapped. Once you have kids, you're trapped.
Yo, you give me chuckles, man. You funny.
Well, you know what? I'm telling you the truth, but it just so happens the truth is really funny when you think about it. But once you have them children, you're trapped. So it's like I have a cousin. Yeah, he had 2 kids with one chick, and then he left her and went to another chick. That chick fucking railroaded his ass in family court. This motherfucker's paying child support for kids he don't see. For 2 kids he don't see. My thing is, if I fucked up and had 1 kid with one chick, I would just stay with her because the thing about it is, after that first kid, I'm trapped. It's like, okay, fine. You know what? I'm just gonna work this out. You know. But when you try to double down and you make another bad decision, that shit don't help. Now, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that's your situation. As long as you got a woman who seems to be coming along and moving forward with herself, and she's taking care of you and taking care of the kids, again, her only real job is to keep your stomach full and your balls empty. That's her only job. Now, if
I,
she can make
I
some
like
money, good for her. No, but that's the truth. That's how you make it so men don't cheat. If a man's balls are always empty, he can't cheat because there's nothing to cheat with.
exactly.
And if a man if a
Exactly.
man's stomach is full, he's not ever going to go to another woman's house and she's going to cook him a meal because no, that's what it is. Your job as a woman is to keep your man's stomach full and his balls empty. That's your job.
Yeah, a
That is
lot of
that's
they don't, but a lot of women don't understand. If you just be strategic and just take care of your man's needs, he's not gonna. I mean, the chances of him going out and doing something is slim.
you could be an ugly woman and you might not even be that attractive, but as long as you keep your man fucked into a coma, he's not going to ever think about leaving you because he's going to be like, yeah, well, she isn't the prettiest thing in the world, but at least my balls are empty. You
Exactly.
know,
Exactly.
it's like it's like I heard one time about black people. When you want to get black people to love a restaurant, all you got to do is feed them a lot of food. It doesn't even matter if the food tastes like shit as long as you give them a lot.
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah, even though this food tastes like shit, at least it's a lot of
Buffet,
food.
baby. We know
You
we
know?
want the buffet, especially
Yeah,
the
but
Chinese one.
yeah,
So-
and these women, some of these women, they can't even make a pack of
Oh,
noodles
you
for
can
God's sake.
eat Chinese buffet? Oh, we rate that shit at least twice a day.
so
Yeah,
let me.
Go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, let me ask you this as far as like I guess the stock portfolio. So my thing is like if I was able to take $200, turn it into 1,050, and I just bought Tesla stock today, and I also bought some more of the Gringo. And I'm trying to figure out from here, even though Tesla is down, I tried because I know Tesla is gonna go back up, but what do you like? What is your suggestion to take my portfolio possibly to like maybe 10,000? Should I keep adding like each month? I can add probably like $1,000 or $1,500 in there, but I'm trying to kind of like build it up off of profits versus taking my own personal money and putting it into my Ameritrade.
Well, again, the dividend paying stocks that I've already pointed out, and there may be others that I haven't pointed out, but the gist of it is you have to look for sectors that are down right now that without coronavirus would have been up. Airlines, cruise lines are cool, but the oil companies are the best place to go because at the end of the day, everything relies on energy at the end of the day. So ultimately, oil companies are still a great place to maximize whatever you put in. The banks are a great place, but keep in mind, airlines are still down because right now nobody's traveling. Cruise lines are still down because right now nobody's traveling. And then there's the EV sector because people need new cars. People are planning to buy in. So if you're trying to get yourself a portfolio up to 10,000, my thing is go after the dividend paying stocks. No matter what you go after dividend payers. And there's a simple reason for that. The other stocks you're going to try to get rid of in short because they waver, they go up and down, but they're not giving you anything back. The dividend stocks is where you park your money.
Okay, that makes sense. Like
that's where you park your money.
Interest you're accruing on the money that you invested.
I'm sorry,
but is this like Sunoco? Didn't you say like? Well, I think I read that Sunoco is yielding what, like 10% or something.
Yeah, and if you had bought Sunoco when I told everybody to buy Sunoco, go ahead. Hello.
No, I was just saying it's better than the banks. The banks give 0%.
but here's the thing. What I wouldn't do is put all of my money towards Sunoco, and the reason why is because that's not diversifying. Diversifying is you're spreading your money out across a bunch of good bets rather than trying to bet it all on one thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even Warren Buffett, he could easily take all of his money and say, "Yeah, I'm going to put it all in Apple." He's not going to do that. He's put his money in multiple different places, but the one thing everything he bets on has in common is they're all solid companies with solid histories, and they all pay dividends.
Well, what do you think about commodity stocks? Because I've actually put money in commodity stocks, and the returns are very like mediocre. But I know like as
Yeah,
far
they are.
stocks, I mean the cannabis stocks have been amazing, but like the commodity stocks are like so mediocre. And I had like $2,000 in Coinbase, and my freaking crypto account like literally tanked so damn far. It's like I really don't even want to mess with crypto anymore because it's like this up and down market. It seems like it's never any stability.
Well, but here's the problem though. Marijuana is technically illegal right now, but it's slowly gaining traction to go towards legalization. Right now is the time you should be investing into marijuana, and you should buy the cheapest companies that you see, because sooner or later the investment is going to turn around on them because the legalization will make them viable companies. Right when I bought them 3 years ago, they were at the lowest of the low. But now, because the political climate changed, all of a sudden now they start going to the moon. So that's the way you have to think about it in a 5 year or 10 year plan. Because even Tesla, when I bought Tesla, Tesla really didn't do anything for like the first couple of years. It took Tesla 8 years and they hit 1,000. After that, the hype skyrocketed them to that share split, and now they're still at 640, which is a lot higher than the $30 when I bought it back in 2012. You know what I'm saying? But it took 10 years. You have to have a 5 year plan or a 10 year plan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yep.
Like I'm not into that get rich quick shit. I'm just not into it. Because most of the time the people who want you to get rich quick or talking about the hype, those people are already in their positions, and you buying into their positions allows them to sell out. So they're cashing your money out. That's the reason why I don't do that get rich quick shit, especially like I'm listening to these Reddit guys. Eventually, Reddit and all of these people on the internet, eventually they're going to start going whole hog investing into marijuana. But when that happens, you have to be prepared to do what you're going to do. Like, for instance, I sold out of MJ&A and I made $2,000 profit. But when I bought into
Nice.
MJ&A, I spent like $100. Not even. So I put
So,
in $100 and I took out 2,000.
so let me ask you this. So what I'm gathering, from what you're saying, or I guess I should ask it as a question instead of relaying it as a statement. But would you say it's possible to? Because what I'm looking for is like to park money in some stocks, to also have some stocks that can also generate some income that can also kind of allow me to do other things with, because I kind of invest in like different things, like even like hard commodities, like actual commodities. And then I also do, like I said, most of my portfolio is real estate. That's what I live off of also. But I'm trying to I'm just trying to figure out, like, is there a way besides also, like, would you say these are like quick money stocks as far as cannabis, or would you say these are long-term stocks?
Dividends.
When you look at dividends, you kind of have to think about it as if you're creating a savings account, and that savings account is going to give you more money in dividend returns than you'd earn if you just put it into a regular bank savings account. So that's just one aspect. But as for if you're trying to make money, my thing is you spread your money across individual stocks that are cheap to buy into, that at the end of the day, if you see like GRNH, you bought into GRNH. When you bought into it and you saw that sudden rise, if you said, you know what, this doesn't pay me a dividend, so now that I've suddenly seen $1,000 gain off of this, I'm going to sell it right here, and I'm going to take $1,000 and I'm going to just take it and run. So you're having a mixture of stocks that could appreciate very quickly and give you quick money, and you want to have a mixture of stocks that are going to give you long-term dividend gains. Because by the time you get older, you'll be able to look at your stock portfolio and say, you know what? I've made so much money on the returns that I could just spend my returns and I could live off my returns. And they're saying to get $10,000 a year, you have to have about $250,000 invested. That money is not going to invest itself. You have to start early. If you start early and you put a little bit in here and there, a little bit more, and you're able to balance out what you're putting in, eventually that shit's going to grow. And it's going to grow to the point where when you're older, you'll be able to enjoy that money, or you can reinvest that money. Or you could not spend any of it and you can leave it to your children. And now they'll have a huge portfolio that they had no responsibility for, but it helps build up their family.
Okay.
You're talking about intergenerational wealth. That's what real estate is supposed to be about. Real estate is not supposed to be about flipping properties to make Airbnb. Real estate is supposed to be when your kids are getting married, you're able to give them a house.
Exactly.
So that's what my Chinese friends, when I've seen my Chinese friends, that's what most of their families did. When their wedding present is the grandparents gave them a house mortgage free.
Wow. Huh.
That's
Wow.
that's intergenerational wealth. One of my uncles, for example, when my grandparents, his parents died, they left him a house mortgage free. All he had to do was work a little to pay the taxes, and he's got himself a house that he didn't have to earn.
Wow.
Now,
This was in
intergenerational
New York?
wealth. Now, I want you to think about something. Yeah, it's in
Mhm.
New York City. That house, when they bought that house, because this was a long time ago, when they bought that house, they paid about $125,000 tops. That house right now, I could sell that house for $800,000 easily, because it's such a big house. You could put 3 families in this house.
Well.
But yes,
What do you say that? Because I'm originally from New York. I've been in the South for about 3 years, and prior to me coming here, I was in Connecticut for about 2 years, and then before then I was in New York. But the reason I left New York is because when I had a child, the North got really expensive, and I know now, like based off of my income, I could move back, but it's just like even my grandmother, she's very successful. She's been working for Child Protective Services for over 30 years, and she makes 6 figures. But it's like your money doesn't stretch that far in the northern region, and it's just like it just becomes, in my opinion, it just becomes undesirable. And
no,
it's
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. What state are you in?
South Carolina.
Oh yeah. The house that I just bought, that was $299,000. If I had spent this same money down there, I'd have a mansion. But the thing about it is, New York State is the place that I feel, as far like for instance, everybody who leaves New York is saying the exact same thing. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. Too expensive. What does that say about me, where I'm able to make it here? And not only am I able to make it here, I'm able to get wealthy here. What does that say?
You're smart.
Well, it's not just the smarts, it's that I'm able to make it. And the mere fact that I'm able to make it here, if I can make it here, what does the song say? It's up to you, New York. If I can make it here, I can make it anywhere.
Yep.
If I ever sold my properties, you know what I would do? If I ever sold my properties, I plan on buying one more house, and I'm going to have 3 houses total. If I ever sold all 3 of my properties, or if I ever had somebody to deal with the rental and rent it out for me, I could move anywhere I want in the world, and I could live on my pension, and I could live on an income from these houses. A little bit of money. I could spend about $2,000 a month, and I could live in a country like a fucking king. I could move to Philippines. I could move to Thailand. I could move to Vietnam. And I could live like a king for $20 a day or
Wow.
$2,000 a month. I could live like a king. But I have to suffer here first in order to set up. Like I'm planting seeds. That's what it is. It's not just stocks. I'm planting seeds, and eventually that shit grows into trees or something.
Yeah, that I mean that's been my main thing. Like really, with like I won't say I live totally below my means, but I like my house is 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. It's enough space for me, my daughter, and my girlfriend. I could easily afford something probably 300,000-400,000, but it's just like right now I'm just at the point in my life where I'm just looking to build wealth. Like that's been my mindset. That's how I got to where I am. So is because I had tunnel vision on going hard into real estate, and I didn't take any courses. For anybody that's listening or you wanted to get into real estate, I didn't take any courses. I didn't do anything. I jumped into it. I started off with a personal loan when I didn't have any money. And after that, I mean, it just blew up. It exploded. I had tunnel vision. I didn't stop. I believed in myself, and I just kept going nonstop. It was a determination in me that I had to be the first 20-something-year-old in my family to hit 6 figures. It was a mission, and I wanted to break that record in my family. And it felt great when I did it, but now it's like I'm just worried about building wealth. But also I do plan on I've been looking at the 2022 Jeep. I was thinking about the SRT Jeep, but it doesn't look like the last generation. I kind of like the 2015 body styles over what they're trying to bring out now. I don't know what's going on with Dodge now.
Yeah,
But
what's going on is what they're trying to do is they're basically trying to get rid of SRT altogether, and they're trying to make it so that their newer products are all global platforms that they can sell globally. Right now, Jeep Grand Cherokee's biggest sales markets are Australia, Dubai, and a couple other countries. But the problem is when you take out the V8 engine and you take out the Trackhawk supercharged, all it leaves you with is an SUV that just about any other SUV can rival. Like for instance, right now, if you were to talk about a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and you're not talking about an SRT or you're not talking about a Trackhawk, the Kia Telluride is actually a better car. The Genesis Palisade is actually a better buy. The Hyundai GV80 is actually a better buy because they're more stylish, they have better fit and finish, and they have more technology in them. Like for instance, they can come with heated and cooled seats in the front and the back. Now, the Grand Cherokee that is currently being made is an old product. That product's been out since 2010. So it's old and they have to replace it. So they're trying to replace it and they're trying to make it more up to date. The problem is when you say up to date, what are you talking about? You're talking about cars drive themselves now. So that means that whatever you make has to be able to say, yeah, I can drive myself. I can park myself. So what does that mean? That means you're going to have electric steering. That means chances are you're going to end up with an electric motor or electric assist motor or computer controlled this and that. So ultimately, the market is shrinking in a way where a lot of products that can't survive are going to change, and they're going to be not the same. Like Germany got rid of all their V8s in the future. They're going to have like twin turbos V6s, and then after that, it's all going to be electric. And granted, the electric cars will be faster and they'll be more efficient, and you'll be able to charge them at your house. Problem is, they're boring. And that's the only reason why everybody wants SRT. It's because when we grew up in my generation, a V8 engine was the shit. But as time went on, now you got V6 and 4 cylinders. Things fucking suck to drive. They suck. They're not fun. They're boring. So SRT right now, you can't even have a Dodge Charger without somebody trying to steal it. So the issue ultimately is we don't know what this stuff is going to look like in the future, but everything has to change. It has to evolve because otherwise we get stuck in the same old patterns, So listen, if you want 2022 or whatever Jeep Grand Cherokee, go for it. If that's what you want, your chances are it'll only be between 40 and 50,000. If that's what you want, go for it. My problem is right now I'm not excited about any of the shit that I'm seeing. I'm really not.
yeah,
I think
like the update.
I think FCA's biggest problem is that all of your new products are fucking $100,000 for an old product. If you're gonna show me a super stock and you're showing me a Durango Hellcat and all this stuff is obsolete at this point.
Exactly.
And you want $100,000 for this shit? Really? I'm like, no, listen, I don't have to show off on YouTube that much. I really don't.
Exactly.
What do you guys think about them disbanding SRT?
Well, but here's the problem. SRT basically stands for a V8 engine with the Hellcat logo on it. How long can you make a car like that when gas prices are going up? How long?
Freaking Biden.
It's not Biden. Gas prices were going up before Biden got into office.
I noticed that a lot of people tried to say that it was. I mean, they tried to say it was Biden, Trump, Texas. I mean, gas prices I saw were already sneaking up in South Carolina way before the political thing. I saw it sneaking up, and it started sneaking up significantly within the past 30 days. But I saw it rising. It was going up, and from what I heard from a friend of mine, it has something to do with Saudi Arabia's production or something to that extent.
I want to leave y'all with this because I really want to get out. But I want to leave y'all with this. Keep in mind, this government is slowly going to force us into electric vehicles. They want to keep gas prices where they want to keep them. If you remember last year, right before coronavirus got started, Russia and Saudi Arabia had an oil production war, and that caused our gas prices to shrink down to a penny. And what happened was the barrel of oil, the commodity of a barrel of oil, went negative. That's when I made that video saying, listen, this is the time right now to buy gasoline stocks. Then coronavirus hit, and in March 18th, that's when everything went down because the entire market shrank because people pulled out until the market went down to Dow 18,000. Gas prices have been going up since then because the airlines and the cruise lines were not using fuel. People weren't driving. But once the economy started to come back online, that's when the gas prices started rising. But gas prices still have not matured because travel has not come back. So you still have a chance to get in on these things. You still have a chance.
But if they're gonna force everybody into electric cars, I mean, there's really not much competition out there besides Tesla.
Well, but you have to remember, oil companies aren't just selling gas to cars. They're selling airplane fuel. They're selling cruise line fuel. They're selling home heating oil fuel. The thing about it is, if you look at the broader picture, the oil companies are going to diversify themselves anyway. But they have so many different markets that they're going to be fine. Even if Sunoco decides to go with all the green technology and stuff and invest in batteries and this, that, and other, their stock is going to be fine. They will always make the moves themselves. You don't have to worry about that. They will do what needs to be done. But the reality is, electric vehicles, even if they do replace all these cars by 2050, chances are you're still going to have a lot of gas cars beyond 2050. And there's still going to be a lot of oil that you can't get rid of because it's just so efficient. Maybe by 2100, maybe by then, it'll be a fully electrified society. But it ain't happening. Listen, in 20 years, you don't know what new technology is coming out.
Especially what just happened in Texas.
I'm sorry?
Especially what just happened in Texas.
Exactly. After seeing something like that, diversifying your energy sources is going to be the big deal because they'll always think back to what happened in Texas and be like, we can never let this shit happen again. You know? So my thing is, you've got time. All you have to do is pick your direction you want to invest in and just get in.
So I'm sorry. So one last question. As far as your tech stocks, are your tech stocks like linked to like companies that are, well, I don't know if it'll be considered tech or commodities, but are you buying anything as far as stocks, as far as that's linked to lithium or or anything like that that's going to be, I guess, something that's going to be used in production in the future, like at a higher rate?
Well, just like you said, commodities have been a little sluggish. The thing about it is, I would prefer to invest in the companies that are exploiting the commodities. So basically, I will say it just like this: the stock list that I gave you of my dividend earners, that is where I choose to put my money. So these companies and the tech companies that I buy, I'm letting them work out all the commodity issues for me. I just invest in the company and let them handle the rest. That's the best I can explain it.
Okay. Okay.
Like, somebody was asking me about whether or not I wanted to invest in uranium. I was like, I'm not going to invest in uranium, but I will invest in the companies building the nuclear reactors because they are going to deal with the uranium for me. I don't have to think about it.
Okay. So basically, everybody that's looking to get some good returns, cannabis is like that next best thing right now.
What I like about weed is right now it's really, really cheap. For the same money that people are spending on Dogecoin, you could be buying weed shares. And let's say like this, if the company is only at 1 penny or it's less than a penny, you can do exactly what I did. You could either put in $100 and buy 10,000 shares or something like that, or you could have enough of it so that when these things start to go up, when you decide you want to sell out of it, your $100 will be just like what I bought with MJNA and with MCOA. Your $100 can easily turn into $1,000. That's 10 times the money you put in. That's a 10-time return. How many? And I want you to think: if I had put all of my money into weed stocks, the returns that I made on some of them would have easily surpassed 7 and 8 times the money. The problem is the volatility. I would never do that because number one is the volatility, and second of all, the fact that they don't pay dividends. Weed stocks are not profitable. But they're highly volatile, they're not profitable. But guess what? Weed stocks are no different than cryptocurrency. The difference is that these are real companies though. Cryptocurrency is not a real company.
So if somebody put 10,000 into, like, let's just say if I put 10,000 into cannabis stocks, I'm just saying, you're saying there's a chance that the same way how that $200 I put in there turned into 1,000, that if I put 10 grand, that could possibly turn into 80,000. I'm just saying possibly.
I'll say it like this: if I was investing with a number that big, 10,000, I'd be putting it in oil and banks instead, because no matter what happens, at the end of the day, I'm still going to get dividend returns off of that money. If I was investing smaller amounts of money, like let's say I take $1,000 and split it up amongst a bunch of different weed companies, that's different because it's a smaller amount of money that can yield a larger result. I would rather take a large amount of money and go after a more certain thing than to risk it on something that's highly volatile that doesn't pay dividends. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Like, Grant, listen, if you make a lot of money, like there's some people, $10,000 ain't shit. Like Elon Musk put 1.5 billion into Bitcoin and lost every fucking penny of it and more. I have to bring that up. For him, $1 billion might not be shit. But guess what? He put $1 billion into fucking cryptocurrency and lost it all. Not only that, but Tesla suffered because he did that. And they dropped from 880 all the way down to $670, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was actually lower than that. So for him, a large amount of money is not a big deal. For me, $1 billion is a lot of fucking money. But the bottom line is, imagine if Elon Musk had done what Warren Buffett did and say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this money, I'm going to invest in Sirius XM, or I'm going to invest in something that pays a dividend in a regular company. He wouldn't have lost that money. If Tesla had invested with that $1.5 billion into banks or oil or something like that, they would not be down right now. But because he invested in this fucking cryptocurrency shit, do you understand do you know how much money he lost? Since Tesla was at 880, Elon Musk has lost over $30 billion.
Wow.
You understand that? $30 billion. It was only 15 billion about a couple of days ago. It was 15 billion. Then it grew to 20, and then it grew to fucking 30. This motherfucker's he lost over $20 billion. Now, if he was me, and let's say I said, okay, I'm gonna take 1.5 billion and I'm gonna invest in these banks and these oil stocks, I guarantee you I would not have lost that much money at all. I wouldn't have lost any money. I'd be up. But this guy is a fucking joke. This guy's a clown. Tesla can exist without him.
Tesla wouldn't exist without federal fucking government money.
Exactly. So it's easy for him to gamble on motherfucking cryptocurrency because he's getting government welfare. It's just like these guys in here who say they want to invest their stimulus checks. You're not supposed to be getting that money in the first place. But guess what? If the government's giving you that money, all you're thinking about is how can I turn this money into more money? A lot of people are going to get those stimulus checks and they're going to invest in cryptocurrency. That's bullshit. So you know what's going to happen? You're going to see it start to go up, and then more people are going to see that.
They haven't voted for it yet. We ain't got no
money.
No,
but listen. My point is, a lot of people who got those checks, a lot of people understand. A lot of people who got those Trump stimulus checks, they took that and put it into fucking Bitcoin. Because if you remember, Trump gave out those stimulus checks right when Bitcoin was having the halving. You remember that? The Bitcoin halving last year? Yeah, around the same time. What? That's free bullshit. Money. If the government gave me $10,000 to invest and say, yeah, go ahead and take this welfare check, me personally, I would take that shit and put it into my bank account. But or I'd take half of it and put it into stocks. These motherfuckers took that shit and put it into Bitcoin.
And now they're
that's the reason why Bitcoin is so high. And let me also say this. I believe that the government knows exactly what I'm saying, but they're using cryptocurrency in order to hide the real cost of inflation. Because think about it like this. If those people took that money and they were buying goods with it, the store shelves would be empty because they would be buying up everything using those welfare checks. That's what always happens. But if you're putting it into cryptocurrency, that money vanishes. That money basically just disappears. The inflation disappears.
Right there.
Well, it's a conspiracy, but I tell you what, it makes sense.
Well, Dan Pena said this. He said when everybody finds out who's behind Bitcoin, everybody's going to pull out and everybody will put millions and thousands into it are going to be down to zero. That's what I remember he said in his video. I think it was like a couple months ago. I watched Dan Pena. And he said when everybody finds out who's behind Bitcoin, it's going to go to zero.
Maybe it will. You know what? The only way Bitcoin goes to zero is if 100% of Bitcoin owners sell. The question is, who are they going to sell to? Because eventually you're going to get to a point where people can't sell it because they'd be losing money.
That's suicide watch right there.
Suicide watch. If Bitcoin goes to zero, a whole lot of people. It's just like with GameStop.
Jumping off.
Look at GameStop. Look how quickly GameStop was at $480. Look how quickly GameStop went to under 100 and then went to 50. Look how quickly. It took 3 days. 3 days.
Especially when the Gambinos come looking for them.
Man, let me tell you something. This market is a mess, and all I can say is you have to have discipline in this market. You got to have a plan. You got to have discipline. You have to treat it as if you're banking, but you have to have the discipline. And if you don't have the discipline, you're gonna get raped in this market. But anyway, guys, we've been on here for 3 hours, 18 minutes.
Man, that's really cool.
Time goes on. I'm the type of person I could stand here and talk for 5 hours if I had to. But bottom line is, I gotta run out to the store real quick. I really appreciate everybody who joined me, and I appreciate everybody who donates to the channel to make it a better channel. I've been looking into making merchandise like Teesprings and custom ink. So I was looking into maybe making a merchandise for my channel eventually. It'll come eventually, but it's like I'm trying to come up with design ideas, and right now things are tough because of this COVID shit. But every little bit helps. And I'm glad that I've helped a lot of you guys build up your portfolios. And I'm glad that my free advice is making y'all money. That's the thing. Because YouTube sure as hell isn't helping me at all with these bullshit algorithms. They're not helping me. But I'm gonna get off here right now, and I'll see you guys later. So thanks a lot, everybody, for stopping by.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and everybody take care and be careful.